We're live now. This is our warm-up part. For those of you listening in, thank you for joining us. King Book of World, Cliff. Who else is here? Zach is here early. Zach said fire it up, so we fired it up. We'll play the open in a second. Dan, how you been, man?
I am so happy to not be shitting my brains out this week. I remember one point Tooch was like, man, are you okay, Dan? And I didn't want to just lead on to how sick I was, but I was so sick last week. I was like, no, man, I'm just listening, but I felt like hell. So I'm back to normal this week and all is well, you know?
Yeah, well, Dan is here. I put up in the chat, hey, anyone, just fucking around, anyone put theme Dan Aguirre, and he is here in living color.
Yeah, I was asked about, from a guy I work with, he asked me where I'm with my high school girlfriend again, you know. He's like, man, what's it like? You know, like, is she better this time? Is she better? And I was like, well, let me just tell you, I'm not as good this time, but I have a perfect analogy. He's an Atlanta Braves fan. So I said, my sex life, I used to be John Smoltz. I could go 9 innings, but now I'm Smoltz as the closer. I come in and get the save. I can't go 9 innings anymore, but I can come in and get the save, and no pun intended with the actual coming.
Have you considered, taking some of those supplements? Not Viagra.
It's hurting my ego, but of course, but so far I really don't need it. It's like a libido thing, right. Is more so than like, getting fierce. Getting hard. Okay. My erection's still there, but it's just not, like when you're like 18 or 19, you're like, fuck, I could fuck 5 times in a row.
Yeah.
And you're in your 40s, you're like, I could maybe twice.
Yeah, exactly. When Donna and I first got together with some 20 years ago, I go multiple times. And now it's like, I'm lucky if I can get through one.
Does it make you feel less than? Or is it something you accept? Because I'm having problems. I'm feeling less than,
No, I don't feel less than. I feel okay. I understand that happens. I got fucking gray hair and wrinkles and shit like that. It happens. As long as we're still enjoying each other, there's more ways to enjoy each other than, penetration. So we have a healthy sex life.
Well, good to hear. Good to hear. And I think my lady, if she were here, would say she's happy too. So.
Well, when is she going to be here? Because we want to meet her.
You will. We're just, we're biding time, and there'll be full explanations later on.
Okay. Well, if for some reason you're going to ask her to marry you, I'd love it for you to do it either on this show or on your own radio show, which you have out east.
Well, do you want some breaking news, I guess?
Yes.
I feel like such a fool in some regards, because you'd be like, dude, come on now. You've only been back together, but I did date her 3 years back in the day. We got rings last week.
Oh!
No, I don't have a date. She does not, to her credit, she did not want an engagement ring, because I told her, like when I was married the first time, I dropped $4,000 on my ex-wife's ring. And, she didn't want an engagement ring. She wanted to pick the wedding bands. Yeah. We have the same wedding band. Like it's exactly the same. It's titanium. So that she picked what she wanted, and she doesn't want a wedding because she's like, the engagement ring / wedding is stuff that you can spend that money elsewhere.
Exactly.
No, so she's like, I'm not one of those bitches. She's like, I just want you. And I'm like, all right. So I don't have a date, but it's going to be in 2024, probably like True Romance, like Christian Slater and Patricia Arquette. And they just walk out and they're like, hey, good morning to you, Ms. What was his name on the, come on, what's his name on the movie?
Geez.
Clarence Worley.
Clarence.
Yeah, they're like, good morning, Mrs. Worley. Hello, Mr. Worley, when they're just walking out of the courthouse. So I think that's what she wants. So
His old Joe says she put a finger in your ass, and you said wifey material.
Nope, there's been no butt play on my side as of yet. I could go without it. I could go without it. I'm just saying, I can go without it.
Wait till it happens, and you'll say,
"No, I've been there. I've been there before under different scenarios." But as of right now, if she never does it, I'm okay.
That's amazing. Didn't you and Mr. Shorty do a show yesterday?
No, it's like he forgot me. He's like, we're estranged. We were the two Dans, and we've been canceled, I guess. I think whatever, like podcast one is canceled us.
Well, it looks like the chat is 70% in favor of the marriage, and 30% are saying you're a sucker.
hey, they are entitled to their opinion, and that's all good, man. And it can all be proven true on what they're saying.
As you and I both know.
Hey, I've been divorced once. It could happen again. So I don't want to be presumptuous about these things. But as of, I think everybody has a good feeling going in. So going in, it feels good. But we'll see. But I guess it always feels good going in, right?
Exactly. So let's talk more about that on the other end of our open. Great news. Breaking news, Dan Aguirre.
Nobody in my real life knows this, by the way.
Oh, my gosh.
No, I shouldn't say that. My friend Michael does, but nobody else.
Michael, you, me, and 220 people on YouTube and 100 more on our other outlets. Here we go.
Put the children to bed. It's time for Dan and Aldo to bare their souls.
I love the Chicago Bears more than I do masturbating, and that is a lot.
Then, with 3 seconds left, Bob Avellini throws a 30-something yard touchdown pass to Greg Latta, and the Bears win, and I literally shit my pants. I swear to God, I literally did.
Eric Kramer, for me, I love the guy. He's a tragic figure. I mean, he embodies all that is.
If they don't run the ball here, I'm going to vomit. I swear to God.
Look, I don't mean any disrespect. He just didn't play that well. Not for a guy of his caliber.
You know, they won, but I'm going to be miserable all week because they stunk.
I don't really have any recollection of that at all, but I guess perhaps I blacked it all out.
So, Dan, tape is the ultimate tool for scouts and for coaches to evaluate players, to detect plays and so forth. And they spend hours looking at tape, right? Why do they so often get shit wrong?
I love the efficiency of bourbon.
Ladies and gentlemen, Dan and Aldo.
On mute. You're on mute.
Ruined the great open.
Yeah.
I'm so happy for you, Dan. So fucking happy for you. I know that you've been looking for that soulmate, and it's so incredible that you found her decades ago, and now you found her again.
25 years later, we literally broke up in April of 1999, and then February of 2024, by God, I was back in the pussy. So there's more to life than that. I'm joking, and she would laugh if she were here.
Yeah. By the way, I just wanted to let people know that I was muted because I didn't want you guys to hear me smoking from my pipe. Well, we're going to talk more about this great surprise a little later. I want to let people know what we're going to talk about tonight. There's just big news regarding the Caleb Williams, Justin Fields I collected a few radio sound bites. It seems like everyone is convinced that Caleb is going to be the number one draft pick. But I got a text from somebody in the know who said, don't bet on it quite yet, because either Ryan Poles is the stupidest general manager of all time, or he is adeptly working the media to increase the trade value of Justin Fields. Now, that's sort of, we've got a lot of people who have been saying that Justin Fields trade value, Justin Fields trade value, excuse me, the number one overall picks trade value, that he's trying to raise it up with, basically letting people know that they're going to pick Caleb number one. But he's doing that, according to somebody I know, because he's trying to raise the value of the number one overall pick, and that it could be that Justin Fields is returning, or that they might draft a quarterback a little later in the
That was what
round.
I wanted to clarify with you. When you started talking, I was thinking, are you saying that there's trying to manipulate the trade value for Justin because the goal is to trade him, or is it to manipulate the trade value of the first pick and to maintain Justin?
Yeah. Drew, it doesn't make sense to me either. I've been scratching my head the last 24 hours since the announcement of the 5th round draft pick for backup offensive lineman Ryan Bates. I've been scratching my head and starting to wonder, have we been wrong about Ryan Poles? Is he going to screw this up royally? And I got to believe that he's got something up his sleeve, and that this is, it's me as a fan talking. I hope that he's going to.
You remember when Eberflus said in the presser that one night against Carolina, he had or in the halftime, he said, "I've got something up my sleeve." Mm-hmm. Maybe he meant this. I'm joking, but what they had up their sleeve, we're going to see in March of next year, and not after the second half of the Carolina game.
Yeah, I don't know. And 3 Point, who I know who he really is. He's always fucking with me. He hates Greg Gabriel, and so he posts things like this. It wasn't Greg that told me that, by the way. So it is. Information that I can't share the source, but again, that person isn't saying I know that this is going to happen. He's saying I got a feeling that this is what might be happening. And this guy is somebody who knows football really, really well, has had sources around the league.
Just to clarify, he or she, this individual, and again, I'm not trying to get anybody's identity or break confidentiality, but what is that person's viewpoint? Are they thinking that they're trying to trade Justin or the pick?
He thinks that they are trying to trade the pick.
Okay.
They're trying to drive up the value of Caleb Williams and will keep Justin Fields. Now, I frankly, after the combine and when I saw Caleb Williams' performance at the podium and heard the reports afterwards, I said to myself, this seems like a fait accompli. I think Ryan Poles is going to draft Caleb Williams and try to find a buyer for Justin Fields. But now, I don't know, man. I keep vacillating on this. It's like,
do you think Justin, unfollowing the Bears was a calculated move too? Like Brian's let's make people think we're breaking up.
I would have said, nah, I thought they're going to go through that extreme. But there was something about Justin's performance, behavior on that 33rd team. Excuse me, I'm about to sneeze. Excuse me.
God bless you.
Thanks. There was something about his behavior on that 33rd team that it was almost like he had this big smile throughout. Maybe it was because he was just hanging out with buddies and so forth, but maybe it is part of a scheme that's going on. The most elaborate hoax in Chicago Bears history. I don't know. I'm just speculating here, guys. So please don't kill the messenger. Don't kill me. So besides that, we're going to talk more about that. My man, Johnny Santucci, will be here with a fiery Bear state of affairs. He's promised us a fiery one. By the way, he's been hitting it out of the ballpark with his Bear state of affairs.
Ever since he got his internet, whatever was wrong with his internet, he's been great.
Yeah, maybe they were great before, but we so focused on him freezing
Yeah.
during his delivery that ruined the whole thing. But yeah, now that he's got the new computer and the good internet connection and Aaron's background, he's been hitting him out of the park, man. So we're going to talk about that, have some media mashups, and then a little later we'll talk about what we've seen on the boob tube.
And don't forget Darnell Mooney saying that he did not want to resign.
Yeah,
that makes me say fuck him even more because he's had like 2 or 3 bad years now. So at least 2 bad years.
It doesn't make any sense to me if the report is accurate that he walked away from a $10 million 3-year contract. That's $10 million a year. Doesn't make any sense to me. Doesn't. What do you think? Do you think he was angling for more money or he just wanted to go to a different team?
Maybe he wanted out of here and I say, let him go.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, he has such a kinship with Justin Fields. They would work out together. They would fuck
Not on the field, they don't.
Well, not last season. It's like Justin dropped him like a hot potato for DJ Moore. But I think a lot of what happened with Darnell Mooney was, he had that really bad ankle injury, and I'm not sure he was 100%. Plus, I'm not sure he's the best route runner on that team.
And he seems to loaf a lot too.
Yes. Well, I mean, he did get hurt. Excuse me. He did get hurt blocking. And so I thought this past season, he said, you know what? Fuck you, man. I am done sacrificing my body for this team. If they're going to offer me is $10 million a year.
Don't forget the drop in Cleveland at the game I was at too. Oh my God. The ball hits him in the fucking stomach and he drops it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
would have won the game. That game, if they'd have won with that Hail Mary, like they would have probably said, we're trading the pick for the next day. We've got our quarterback.
Yeah.
Thank you, Darnell, for dropping that. Sarcasm.
Yeah. By the way, did the $10 million a year offer, do you remember the source on that? Shorty saying he didn't know.
I was on NBC Sports Chicago.
Okay. So either Josh Schrock or one of the other guys that worked there. The other thing that I'm worried about now is if they're going to draft Caleb Williams, they've got the 9th pick. Given that they only have 5 picks now, is it 5 picks? 5 picks.
Yeah, it's 5, I believe. Yeah.
Right. They're going to have to trade that number 9 pick to acquire some more draft picks. So I am heartbroken at the chance that they might lose out on Rome Odunze. I don't think you saw the Combine or any part of it, did you?
I don't watch the Combine.
Yeah. Combine in college football is not your cup of tea, right?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not bored by it. It's not like it's country music where I'm just like, fuck this, but I don't like it, man. I'm a Bears fan. That's all I can say.
Hey, that's cool. No one's judging you here.
So, I don't like fantasy football either. I don't want to root for anybody else's fucking team.
Yeah. I mean, here's a guy that has 4 or 5 Justin Fields jerseys. He's devoted to the Bears and nothing else. And when he gets married, he'll be devoted to his wife and no one else. Not even me.
Well, no, if that happened, again, the goal, I would like to have her come out and meet you in the fall.
Absolutely. And she can stay in my room.
As long as we want Chris back. She can sleep with Chris.
But here's what I was going to say. Rome Odunze just impressed the shit out of so many people at the Combine. Not only was he glib and funny and insightful at the podium. It was one of the best press conferences at the Combine that I've ever seen in all my years of watching the Combine. But on the field, he impressed dramatically. He didn't run super fast. I think it was just a little under 4.5, but that's still fast enough for a big X receiver, a guy who's going to block downfield, a guy that's going to win, the 50-50 balls. As he put it, to me, it's not a 50-50 ball. It's a 100-0 ball. In other words, he's going to.
Where is he from?
He's from Washington. So his quarterback was the lefty, Michael Penix. So I just fell in love with him. Another cool thing that happened, Dan, is the 3-cone technique. He didn't match the score that he wanted. And so everyone has left the field. NFL Network still has their cameras because they're continue to do the post-combine thing. And so on the field, the cameras catch Rome Odunze down there. They go down to Stacey Dales and another reporter, and they catch him still trying to beat the record that he set for himself. He just, when he was coming around that last cone, he kept knocking it over, and he knew he had to get as close as possible to the cone in order to achieve his goal, and he just kept knocking over. He didn't get it, at least not on camera, but that attitude, holy shit, I love this guy, and I really hope the Bears get him. Now, one interesting thing, Dan, is that I saw in a mock where the Bears drafted Caleb Williams and then traded a couple of picks, one this year, their third rounder this year, and I think a second rounder to move up and choose Rome Odunze at number 6, which if they did that, I wouldn't mind it so much. I mean, there's certain players every year that I fall in love with. Rome Odunze is the guy I fall in love with.
So he wouldn't be there at 9 for sure?
Well, given, I think there's still a chance, and I'll tell you why. The quarterbacks are starting to move up. There's definitely going to be 3 quarterbacks chosen before the 9th pick. There's a possibility now of 4 or maybe even 5. Now, a lot of this is agent talk, and, you can't believe everything you hear. But, a lot of teams have been really impressed with the quarterback play at the combine, and these second-tier guys now, their level, their rankings are moving up. So there's a chance if there's 4 quarterbacks chosen before 9, then you got Malik Neighbors and Marvin Harrison, the top 2 wide receivers. That's 5 and 6. Then you got a couple of offensive linemen and potentially the tight end Brock Bowers. That's 10 right there. And so the Bears could have a shot at Rome Odunze. A lot depends on Brock Bowers and how many quarterbacks are chosen in those 8 picks before the Bears have their second pick of the first round. So I'm excited. I am a little bit saddened. Where is your temperature at now with the whole Justin Fields situation?
Well, I'm a Fields guy. Like I told you, I'm going to jump with Caleb if that's who they draft. But I, like you, was reading just stuff on Twitter. I wasn't watching the combine, but I was reading stuff, and it felt like a foregone conclusion again that we were drafting Caleb. So I came in tonight thinking that Justin was gone, but you've convinced me maybe he's still here. I just don't know. I feel like Justin, though, I just want it to end. Let's just tell me what's going to happen. Let me go in a coma until then.
Yeah, I've been trying to talk myself into this is the greatest offseason. It is the greatest offseason.
Stressful.
But I want an answer. Yes, it is.
It's very stressful. Yes. Every time I read a report, I'm like, I don't even want to read it. I see the headline, I'm almost like clickbait it. No, fuck it. I don't want to read it. I'll wait for the results. But the question is, do you think, so free agency is going to commence next week, right?
Right.
So the transactions that the Bears may or may not have could also play or tip the hand a little bit on what we're doing, don't you think?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I think, a lot of people in the Bears organization would love to know before free agency starts so that they can start to make moves, whether that's the moving of Justin Fields or the trading of the number 1 overall pick. Just like last year, it was March 10th last year when we traded with the Panthers and got that haul. And so what is it now? March 5th. So I think they'd love to have an answer themselves real soon. But, as you will hear in some of these media mashups, according to Adam Schefter and so forth, it seems they're reporting that the trade market for Fields has softened up and that perhaps Ryan Poles has overplayed his hand.
I'll quote Courtney Cronin. Fuck this.
We have to talk about this. What was your reaction when you saw?
All right. Fuck this.
Does Courtney have veneers, you think?
I don't think.
All right. Fuck this.
I can see why you're saying that, but
like she's got like Jay Cutler's teeth or something, Cutler had those huge veneers, or what appeared to be veneers. Yeah, I was surprised by it because whatever the explanation was, it just didn't jive with the video. It's like watching the damn Kennedy assassination. They're like, it's to the front and to the right when it's clearly to the back and to the left. Her explanation just didn't drive. She's like, I didn't realize I was on air. Come on, she knew she was on air. And I like her. She's a good follow on Twitter. Great follow on Twitter.
Oh, she's one of the best beat reporters out there, and she does great work on ESPN when she's on a couple of their talk shows. I'm sorry, Tooch. Tooch says Aldo stole my Courtney video. I should have guessed that was going to be on Bear State Affairs, but it will still be fresh when you do it.
The look on her face when she slams the earbuds, like that's with malice. Like I said, with it's like a sarcastic smile. It's like in a movie. That's when she slits our throats.
Yes, indeed. And J2K has asked, why did she do that? Well, they went to her for a report on their morning show, Cap and J Hood, and there was an echo problem. And I think it really was from her end, because when she lifted up the microphone from her earbuds, the echo went away and caught her perfectly saying, fuck this. But when she had it down here, there was a terrible echo. She heard it. She got frustrated that ESPN text couldn't fix it, and she was done. I also think, these people work fucking hard, and I would not be surprised if Courtney doesn't strike me as a type of person who's going to go back to the hotel room and do homework for the next day. I think she's out there partying, talking to scouts and agents and getting information, probably knocking down a few. And then she's getting up at 9 a.m., 8 a.m., whatever time for this Cap and J Hood show. I bet she may have been a little, hungover. I'm just guessing, Courtney. I'm just guessing. But I know that's probably would have been my excuse for sure. A little hungover and get a little grouchy. Fuck this.
Yeah, awful announcing was intimating that she should be worried about an FCC fine too. I was like, damn.
Oh yeah, you got to think about it.
I guess it aired. I thought they'd have a delay.
Yeah, well, it's funny because the clip that I saw, which is longer than the one I just shared, is they do the whole thing. Courtney is with us now from the combine, blah 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 blah, and then after she left, I should have included this. Maybe Tooch will. Cap's reaction was like, he was like, holy shit, dump that. And then Jay Hood was, very professional. Okay, we'll try to get our connection back with Courtney.
Yeah, he didn't seem flustered at all. That's a pro, man. I got to give him credit for that.
Mm-hmm, yep. Oh, there you go. 3 Point says that Cap will be on TTNL tomorrow night. That will be interesting. Yeah, a plug there for our former friends over at TTNL. All right, let me play a clip for you. I isolated these, so they're just a couple of minutes long in some cases, and the longest is 4 minutes or so. But this was the kind of attitude that I was hearing on sports radio. This is Captain J Hood just talking about them.
Do you see what Pro Football Talk already put out there? Pro Football Talk says, we just spent 10 minutes with Caleb Williams. Condolences to the Vikings, Lions, and Packers. This guy is the real deal, and the Bears will have their first franchise quarterback since Sid Luckman.
Oh, God. Get me a cigarette.
That's pretty strong. First comment underneath there, this will age like milk. So there you have it, right? Again, Caleb Williams is one guy, but could be the biggest building block for the Bears if the Bears draft him.
They are.
What do you think? I mean, that, everyone in Chicago radio is talking about this is a foregone conclusion. This is happening.
Yeah, it makes me believe when I hear that. I had actually seen that I didn't listen to their podcast on that, but someone had tweeted like that clip out. So I'd actually heard that before on Twitter, and it just seems like a foregone conclusion. That's what the Bears are doing, or at least that's the narrative that's being conveyed, almost like propaganda. Like we've just bought in here, So I don't know, man. I don't think anybody really knows, but they do have an enormous amount of certitude.
Yeah. That, I mean, you know, and that because of everything that was heard. Let me play another one from the same station, ESPN's Waddle and Sylvie show. This is short 2 minutes.
We learned that the consensus with regard to what the Bears are expected to do is pretty. It's pretty confident and it's pretty popular. I think that, you know, everyone kind of feels that they're going to trade Justin and they're going to draft Caleb Williams. Look, I know this makes some of the people that are very fond of Justin feel angry and want to lash out. I'm not telling you what Caleb Williams said has me over the moon, but I will tell you, as I said to everybody on Friday, had I heard him not handle himself well, it would have affected me more than hearing himself handle himself well. Hearing him talk the way he did and the maturity he showed in the incident and the interaction that you had with him and the way he carried himself, I think, in most of the interviews and everything you heard, it just puts you at ease, which I'm not going to go over the top for, but there is a level of importance with it. Now, conversely, had he come off as being really arrogant and aloof and not the nicest guy and not cooperative, that would have stuck with me more than now. You know, I'm not high-fiving everybody. You know, look at how great he is. No, I mean, that's determined. That piece of the puzzle, though, was somewhat comforting.
Yeah, and he hung around all the drills too this week. While he didn't participate, he hung around all like the people who were doing drills there. His interview with the Bears reportedly went very well late on Wednesday.
He's got a level of comfort with his popularity and his notoriety, which I think is important, especially if you are going to be the projected first overall pick. He said the things that I think you want to hear him say. He confirmed what my biggest question was. Is he 6'1"?
Yeah.
And he measured at 6'1" and an eighth.
Yeah, about 6'1". Right,
yeah.
right.
Another example of the media in Chicago making it known that they truly believe Caleb is coming and that Caleb has started to check all of the boxes. Is there anything worrying you about that, Dan?
Yeah, it was just, again, playing devil's advocate. And as you know, I love Jay Cutler, right? So, but Cutler, whether you thought that he was distant and aloof to teammates, was very good on Waddle and Sylvie. He was a very good talker. And, you know, he does a podcast now. So Jay can talk. But I love Tom Waddle, but if the main component is what Caleb Williams said, I mean, who gives a fuck what he said? Like, I mean, can he play ball? That's what we need. Like again, I loved Cutler, but he was 51 and 51, and I can't change that statistic, but he could talk well. Hell, Mitchell Trubisky at times can talk well, even as a little robotic, and certainly Justin can talk well, but we want someone that can play well. Right. Now, if that's going to be my guy Justin or if that's going to be Caleb, that's fine. But I felt like they were giving too much importance to what he said at the combine. I mean, no one's going to remember that. Like, yeah, how many times have you heard you don't learn anything because they're just in underwear and shorts or whatever? I mean, it comes down to playing and the pros and pads. So it's the same thing. You can't put too much stock into what he's saying, in my opinion. But Tom knows more about football than I will ever know. So.
Yeah, you know, I would always say that in the past, you know, defer to coaches and players and so forth. But over the years, and I'm not saying that this is Tom Waddle's issue, but over the years, I've come to become very suspicious of what these people in the know have to say. I disagree with them more and more. I'm like, are you fucking seeing what I'm seeing? You know, maybe the smell in the locker room has made you think differently. I don't know. I don't hang out in locker rooms, but I just feel like, you know, I'm not going to give Tom Waddle or anyone else the benefit of the doubt because they played the game professionally or coached or scouted or anything. I'm going to always, you know, be a critical thinker on issues like that and try to believe, you know, try to accumulate as much information as possible and then offer a fact-based opinion, which I rarely do, but I'm going to try. You know, then the other thing about what's going on with this Caleb and Justin thing is that everybody is weighing in on it. You know, even some of the biggest celebrities in the world.
I got one message for Justin Fields. Hasta la vista, baby. Wait, I got one more. Consider this a divorce.
Keep Justin Fields' name out of your motherfucking mouth. I will slap the shit out of you. And if you doubt me, ask Chris Rock.
I like Justin. Consider this He has been through as many offensive coordinators as I have boyfriends. That's hard. It's not easy to shake it off.
I'm not sure about quarterbacks and evaluating them, but whoever picks them for Green Bay does it well. Just for the record, Green Bay sucks.
You crazy, bro.
I have done over 100 porno movies, so I know a few things about sucking. Justin Fields sucks. I mean, he really, really sucks. He sucks even more than Jay Cutler ever sucked. Move on, Justin. Move the fuck on.
I don't know about this USC kid. I mean, who cries on his mother's shoulder for 20 minutes on national TV after losing a football game? Again, what the fuck do I know? You should ask Romo or Greg Olson. Just don't ask Fauci.
So take it from me. If you cut ties with Justin Fields, you're just killing your chances to win a Super Bowl anytime soon, you fucking moron.
Which one owns a Tesla? Haha, I'm just kidding. See, I can be funny. Let me say this. Patience is a virtue, and if you're patient with Justin, you will be rewarded. Unless, of course, he drives a Chevy Volt.
I hate to butt in, and I don't mean to be cheeky about this, but once you get to the bottom of this debate, it's Caleb Williams. Final. Don't crack any more jokes about it.
I guess it comes down to a simple choice, really. Get busy living or get busy dying. I'm going to live with Caleb instead of dying with Justin.
It's so divided out there, Dan.
The Taylor Swift one was really good.
I thought you were going to like the Kim Kardashian. Don't you like big asses? Because people always say that, Dan, he's a big ass. Joke.
I mean, there's not much about the ladies I don't like, I guess.
That's what I love about you. All right.
I think I can look at a clavicle and be like, damn, look at that collarbone.
You know what's fascinating about that? I used to have a girlfriend who was really into clavicles. And she was the first one that says, you know, your clavicles are a little off center. One is higher than the other, which is probably what caused the aneurysm.
Oh, God. I was going to say, I hope that didn't play into the surgery last fall.
But the point is that she got turned on by clavicles. I was like, you are a freak. Thank goodness. All right, I got one more to play from the media, and this one is a little longer, Dan. It's about 5 minutes or so.
Well, can I ask you one question first before you go into it? Do you have anything specifically that Caleb said that's supposed to be so earth-shattering that I should know about? Do you have a clip that I later in the show or something that I should?
Yeah, I'll pull something up, I don't think there was anything earth-shattering. I think, if anything, although not everybody agrees with me, I thought that he did a really good job behind the podium, answering questions. Greg Braggs asked some good questions. Braggs elbowed his way into the front row and asked some good questions of Caleb. At least I think it was Braggs. It sounded like his voice. And so I'll pull those up. But first, I want to introduce, this is the Parkins and Spiegel show, and they were talking about the trade value for Justin Fields. Now, listen closely to this, Dan, because it does concern me that maybe Ryan Post has screwed this up, and that the trade value for Justin Fields now is not going to be anything what we expected.
Just go through the teams that don't have a quarterback for next year, and let's see if they would have Fields be their top choice. And so we used the odds that were out from the gambling market, and we just went through the teams. For basically every one, we were able to find a reason against Fields being their top priority more than it being their top priority. Like Washington, they have the second pick. Mm-hmm. New England, they have the third pick. Atlanta, they hired Zach Robinson, who's off the McVay tree. That's much more about snap, throw, timing, quick accuracy type of things. Pittsburgh, they are publicly saying that they are committed to Kenny Pickett, who they used a first-round pick on after Justin Fields was drafted. Denver doesn't have a second-round pick because of the Sean Payton and Russell Wilson acquisitions. So it was just Vegas hired Luke Getsy. And so I was like, it concerned me that, yeah, Fields is a starting caliber player, but there's actually not a fit.
What we have now, post-NFL Combine, and Dan Wetzel over at Yahoo Sports wrote about this today, that the Justin Fields trade market is further hurt because Michael Penix tested out very, very well. Because J.J. McCarthy, as we talked about at 3 o'clock, had a pretty good combine, because Bo Nix had a pretty good combine. So all those teams that you just referenced that need one can use the concept of taking a chance that a rookie might be as good in terms of the development scale as where Justin is right now. And by the way, you're getting a rookie contract instead.
Yep.
So this draft was considered top heavy for quarterbacks. Now it's just kind of considered heavy for quarterbacks. You might see 5 in the first round, and if that's the case, then maybe a team trades back into the bottom of the first round, gets that extra year of control for a quarterback. We've seen that happen many times in past years. If you like somebody, don't wait for round 2, trade into the first. So all those teams might have rookie options they're considering beyond the ones they can't get in the top 3 favorites.
The NFL knows that they're trading Justin and that they're drafting Caleb. And when the NFL knows what you're doing, it by definition that hurts your leverage.
I guess
you've telegraphed your actions here.
My question is this: does the NFL know what Justin Fields is?
Justin is good, and I think that some of these teams would be making a mistake. Pittsburgh going with Kenny Pickett over Justin Fields seems crazy to me. That seems crazy. I do think that he'd be an upgrade in Vegas, but I don't think he wants to go to Vegas. And I have a hard time imagining that Getsy wants him there.
He would be an upgrade in Atlanta over Heineke and Desmond Ridder and Marcus Mariota.
So this is where the other report from the weekend gets very interesting to me when you bring up Atlanta. Atlanta is said to be making a run at Kirk Cousins. If you're Kirk Cousins, and you just released a video of you working out on a tennis court to show how far along your Achilles is in terms of coming back and all of that, and you are perfect for a Sean McVay offense, because we saw it with Kevin O'Connell, and they hired Zach Robinson down there, and you still get to be in a dome, and you get to be in an easy division, and you get to be in the NFC. And yeah, you don't have Justin Jefferson anymore, but you have Bijan Robinson and Kyle Pitts and Drake London and the 8th overall pick to potentially add either a left tackle or another receiver to help you out. I would think if I'm Kirk Cousins, Atlanta is a very, very, very attractive destination. And so Jeremy Fowler of ESPN added Minnesota. He listed 4 teams for Fields. Pittsburgh, we've talked about a lot. Atlanta, we've talked about a lot. Vegas, we've talked about a lot. And Minnesota. Is it possible that Ryan Poles, if Cousins goes to Atlanta and Baker goes back to Tampa and Russell Wilson goes to Pittsburgh, that a team that's left in the game of musical chairs, that doesn't have a draft pick high enough to take one of the top quarterback prospects, it wouldn't be a perfect fit in a Kevin O'Connell offense?
No, not at all.
But
I mean, the Kevin O'Connell offense is the McVay offense, is the Zach Robinson offense in Atlanta.
I know.
Is the Getsy offense on some level here.
Right, but someone is going to be square peg, round hole here, because there are not 32 good starting quarterbacks in the NFL, and Justin is one of the 32 best quarterbacks in the league.
I think it's going to be Pittsburgh.
You think it's going to be Pittsburgh?
That's Arthur Smith now, right?
Yes.
And because they don't have to trade for Justin as the undivided plan A, they could have him come to camp and battle it out with Kenny Pickett and see what happens. I know that means that they wouldn't be picking up the option and would put them in danger, but then maybe they would have they would obviously have the inside track to sign him and work something out.
Yeah,
the more I think
Daniel
about
Jones
it,
route.
Yeah, if you're as a plan B,
but that is going to hurt your trade compensation
for sure.
If a team's trading for him and saying we're not committed to him enough to pick up the 5th-year option, I think Bears fans should be preparing themselves to potentially be disappointed in the return and not even getting a 2nd-round pick for Justin.
And don't trade him.
I got a couple things to say.
Please.
First off, again, the certitude that he was like, everyone knows you're trading. You've tipped your hand. Based upon what? Why are you saying that? What has Ryan Poles said that any of us could be like on video and be like, yeah, this is where he tipped his hand? That's an opinion, but it's being presented as fact. There's nothing about that that's factual. Like how does anyone know that he's going to draft Caleb Williams. That could prove to be true, but nobody knows that right now. It's conjecture. And I hate how all these guys are presenting it and selling it as if they know. If you know, then say, hey, a source told me, even if you can't rely or relay who the source is. But I think they're just presenting opinions. And there's no way. I think it's a very slim chance that the Bears would trade Justin within the fucking division. Like, there's no way. Like, if Poles traded him to Minnesota and then the Vikings started eating us up with Fields, like, he would lose his gig quicker than making the wrong pick here.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see that happening at all.
I agree with you. The whole idea of Justin Fields being a Minnesota Viking and us going up there and with that crowd and that fucking Jalma horn, whatever it's called.
Oh, I hate that fucking horn. I hate when they start screaming skull or whatever the fuck.
Skull, yeah. God. When that shit happens with Justin Fields as the quarterback, Bears fans will fucking go nuts with anger. Even those Bears fans who have been crying out for Caleb Williams to come and save the team. You know what? The fact of the matter is that both of these quarterbacks, Justin Fields and Caleb Williams, are very fucking similar. They don't throw on time. Theirs is a street style football. The Sean McVay system really is not for them, at least Caleb for now. Maybe Caleb can develop quicker than Justin Fields. I don't know. And nobody really knows. They would just be guesstimating based on their experience. But right now, both quarterbacks are very fucking similar. They evade the pass rush. They look for big plays downfield. Sometimes the processing is probably, from what I've seen, a little slower for Justin than it is for Caleb. But, if you're going to pick up Caleb Williams, you better be patient. I don't think you're going to see a C.J. Stroud type of season. The reason C.J. Stroud has been so successful in his rookie year with the NFL was because he was perfectly suited for that timing system. You didn't see C.J. Stroud running around like Justin and Caleb do. No, he would take 3 steps back, plant that back foot, and fire the ball. That's what got him so much success in his rookie season.
And it was only 1 year, though. People forget that. I mean, RG3 was Rookie of the Year, and so was Rick Meyer.
Mm-hmm.
So they didn't have a lot of success. No, so RG3's problem was injuries. And he was obviously superbly talented. But either way, neither guy repeated their first-year success anywhere after that. So there's no guarantees that C.J. Stroud is like going to be some great player moving forward with the Texans either. People always forget that, you know?
Yeah, it is so true. I mean, projecting football players for the National Football League from the college game is so difficult, and probably no position more difficult than the quarterback position. But I will give Caleb props. I mean, he was very, very impressive. So you asked if he said something that was controversial. No, I thought just about everything that he said was really cool. And this is him talking about himself. What will a team get? And his thoughts on coming to the Bears.
I'd say the player and person that they be getting, a person that cares for his teammates. Some of y'all may have seen, some of y'all may have not. I try to take care of all my guys, no matter if you've been 4th on the depth chart or you're the star player. So I care for my teammates, and then the other part is I'm a fierce competitor, as you may have seen after some games. The Bears was an 8-9 team last year, I believe, and 7-10. Sorry, and that's pretty good for a team that has the first pick. And they got a good defense. They got good players on offense, and it's pretty exciting. If you could go into a situation like that.
What's your reaction to what he just said?
It sounded like he's done a little bit of homework. It's not like he just read that before he went out there. Again, the fact that he was like 8-9, 7-10, I kind of like that. That means he was just speaking off the top of his head. He wasn't out there prepared reading a flashcard. And like you said, he knew that they had some pieces on offense and some defense. So, all those reports or people were saying back in January that he did not want to come here unequivocally. It sounded like right there he was okay with it.
Mm-hmm.
They almost sounded like he was campaigning for it.
Yeah, I mean, that was like right at the top of the press conference, and when he said those two things about who he was and how he takes care of his teammates, and he said it with such ease and like, he's camera ready, man. When Justin first came over, on draft night, he was like pissed, and a lot of people thought it doesn't seem like he's really happy coming to the Bears, but he was pissed because he dropped to what was it, 10th, 11th pick, and in his press conferences, Justin has not really mastered the art of controlling a press conference. And here comes Caleb Williams, and he's straight out of Hollywood casting. He seems so at ease. He seems so comfortable. Really played it up. He was there to the very end of the combine. That day that he was there when the quarterbacks threw, he was one of the last guys out. He was talking with players, talking them up, encouraging them. He really, really put on a show without having to throw the ball or do any of the football stuff. It was, to me, impressive. And
what do you think about the medical stuff?
I do agree with that fact. There are more and more players who are saying, listen, I'm going to be one of the top draft picks. The Kansas City Chiefs are not going to draft me, and if they're going to trade up and try to trade for me, then let me know. Then I'll come in and do a workout. But I don't need to have every team in the league have access to my medicals, and that's the problem, because at the combine, it's not 32 different teams, as Greg explained it on Monday. There's not 32 medical teams doing tests. There's just a representative group of doctors doing these tests, and all of those results then are shared with all 32 teams. And that's what a lot of players don't want. Just like perhaps when you go to the doctor, when you fill out that form, are you okay with us sharing your medical reports with others? Sometimes you don't check that box because you don't want other people to see it. And I think that's basically what he's saying.
I don't want anybody knowing that dildo's stuck in my sphincter.
That's still not out?
No, man.
I put that thing in a year ago.
It's sucked in there and I can't get it out.
Jeez, man, I always get mine out like in 5 minutes.
I took a 911 call legitimately where a dude had it was stuck in his sphincter.
Oh, really? A dildo?
Yeah. He said that he and his girlfriend were experimenting. This dude was in his 60s, by the way. Mm-hmm. When they got there was no girlfriend. They had to put him on the stretcher on all fours. And they said they had to wait for the battery to die to surgically remove it from his ass.
You couldn't make this up, man.
I would have driven to like Charlotte. There's no way anyone's going to know about that. But I wonder if the dude was sitting there, if the battery was still on, if he's just randomly nutting in the waiting room, just, they hit the fucking spot, and like it's still going. So.
Chase Anderson.
True story.
Medical record syphilis diagnosis 2008.
What is this, 1839? No, I don't have syphilis.
Hector says that's a good point. I'll try explaining that to those dumb Justin sexuals. It's really this is I find this so fascinating. I have never ever seen Bears fandom so divided about a player or about something in the team. Yeah, everyone was in agreement. John Fox, you gotta go. Mark Trestman, you gotta go.
Matt Nagy, you gotta
go. And with players, there was a Jay Cutler, contingent, and there was the anti-Jay contingent, but I don't think it was necessarily as heated as what we're going through now. Right?
No.
Yeah.
If anything, Lovey's departure was kind of split, I think, with like 50-50.
That's a good
or maybe even 60-40 to keep him. So I think that's the only thing remotely close. You know what I fear the most is because, and I'm one of these people, so I'm not trying to say I'm any smarter or better than any other Bears fan, but, we have a tendency to be negative. And I'm afraid that whatever the decision is going to be, like we're all just going to be negative by it when whoever our quarterback is gets picked in week 1. Inevitably in the first game at Soldier Field, somebody's going to throw a pick. whether it's number 1 or number 13, and everyone in unison is going to boo and say that was the wrong decision.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I worry about, because whomever the quarterback is, we have to go all in.
Yes.
And stop this fucking, like, who's the quarterback? We have to, like, be happy and say, this is the guy. Ride or die, as they say.
It's interesting. Shy Sun says, draft Caleb and keep Justin Fields for a Wildcat plays. Everyone wins. There is the thought that, if indeed Justin Fields' trade value is, you only get like a 2/4, then I would say, well, hold on a minute here. Maybe we should keep him. Let's talk to Justin and say, Justin, we want to give you the number 1 job for 2024, but Caleb is going to be on the team and he's going to be on your ass. And if he plays better than you in practice, if he picks things up, then that's the way it is. We'll keep you for your 4th year, and then we'll allow you to be a free agent if we can't trade you. What is wrong with doing that? And now some people are saying it would divide the locker room, but now, and I did a poll. Most people are saying, no, trade Justin, get whatever you want. 62%. Said trade Justin for whatever you can get. And only 37% said let both quarterbacks fight for the number 1 job. What do you think?
I love Justin, but if you're going to draft the number 1 pick, you got to trade him. That's going to be a huge...
Or whatever. If the Steelers come back and say, we'll give you a 3rd and a 4th or a 3rd and a 5th.
I hate it. I don't want him to go. But just for team chemistry and like those things, that intangibles do matter. And you don't want the person there just groping on the sidelines, because Justin isn't going to be happy playing some gimmicky wildcat shit. I mean, he thinks he's good enough to be the quarterback. I think he's good enough to be the quarterback, but he definitely feels he's good enough to be it. So you're asking a lot of a guy that just turned 25. Is today his birthday, I think?
Yesterday or today, yeah.
Yeah, you're asking a lot of a 25-year-old guy to swallow his pride and play backup and only play a gimmicky role. That's too much to ask of him.
Yeah, I just feel, and I put this out on a poll last year, and I was eviscerated for it. What about if Justin becomes our Taysom Hill, the guy from the Saints?
I remember when you posted that, yeah.
Yeah, people were saying, are you fucking stupid? Or I knew you were fucking stupid. And so I say, if you're not going to get a good return on your investment for Justin, don't fucking settle. Implement him into the offense. The guy can, with 6'3", 25, 30 pounds, he can block, he can run. I would love to see him in that wild card position, but then he goes out at the wide receiver position. Justin comes in from the wide receiver position, and Caleb comes out and throws it to Justin 50 yards downfield for a touchdown. I don't know. Be creative with the situation. Don't allow yourself to settle. And this draft, I've been saying it now for the past few days, this draft is really good at the top, not so good for day 3. Not so good for 5th, 6th, 7th round. 5th, yes. 6th and 7th round draft picks, they're bigger crapshoots than they've ever been before. So I don't know. I Echo even agrees with me. Look at that. He's never agreed with me on anything before. And Chase Anderson says I'm being disrespectful. Hey, the Tooch has just dropped in. Give me a thumbs up if you're ready to rock and roll, Tooch. All right. Anything you want to say before we bring in America's favorite president who delivers the Bears, El Presidente? Tooch actually does look like he could be a banana country president.
We might be one if the Supreme Court says that there's immunity. That would make Biden a king, essentially. Yeah. People forget that would make him the guy with... Anyway, let's... Yeah. I know it's Super Tuesday, but let's get off of that and say this. The one comment I have before we bring in our guy, Johnson Tucci, is the statistics that I read, the guy from Buffalo seems like a good pickup. I know we tried to get him a couple years ago, but statistically, he seems like maybe he's good enough to be a starting center, and maybe it's not just a Band-Aid.
It's clear that Ryan Poles loves this guy. I mean, to try to sign him as a restricted free agent 2 seasons ago, and then to now give up a 5th round draft pick. The guy, I think, for Poles, I've got now a backup guard and a backup center. And maybe he can even become the center if the rookie we draft at center is slow to develop. That's the type of thinking I think Ryan Poles, which is why he gave up that big asset. So I see Tooch nodding his head, so we might be stealing some of his fire here. Johnny Santucci, ¿cómo está? Dictator of Bears land.
Let me just unmute. I don't want to pull an Aldo.
Exactly.
Yeah, congratulations, Danny, on MarriageGate.
Well, we're not there yet, but it's gonna happen sometime this year. Just like we're gonna have a quarterback, and we're gonna know who it is eventually.
Yeah, man, I would have never bet on this, Aldo.
Oh my gosh,
Mr. Bachelor.
Adam wants to know about Ryan Bates. Can he snap the fucking ball?
Yeah.
That's the question of the night right there.
Yeah.
If I didn't settle down sooner enough, I might have had syphilis like that one guy said I did.
A little
Dad,
syphilis makes the world go round.
Dad, before we start State of Affairs, I got to ask you this, and if you get mad at me for asking this,
I'm not going to get mad.
Okay, but I gotta say, like, since we've been doing this show, you probably had sex with about 100 women.
No, I'm in the mid 60s though on my body count. For real. 66.
Whoa!
I'm embarrassed to that, honestly.
Really?
I'm not Wilt Chamberlain here. I mean, I'm just a dude. I'm saying, but like, I'm embarrassed because people are just gonna think I'm like, filthy or something.
No, you were a bachelor looking for your mate, and so you're testing out the waters. And my God,
I was in the water a long time.
I'm surprised you didn't drown in cum juice.
Exactly.
Lots of minnows in that pond, Aldo.
Yeah.
This is bare their souls, and there you go. I've bared it.
Tony suggests, hey, Dad, have you checked yourself for STDs?
I have been over the years. Yes, of course.
Yeah. Probably a good idea to do it one more time before you settle down.
No, but I have in recent times. I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, when I got, I'll tell it. I know you're on deck, Tooch. I don't want to take your time. But when I had never had skin problems and suddenly had eczema. And that could have been a result after the COVID shots. I'm not trying to be political, but all this manifested after the vaccinations. So I went to the dermatologist, man, and the shit was on my fucking dick. So I got tested then. They said it was eczema on my fucking dick. But from what I can gather, I can't wash my dick with like regular body wash now. It's got to be like something for sensitive skin. Like,
well, nobody's perfect.
So I can't use like regular Axe or something that I wash my body with on my fucking junk. I got to use like sensitive skin shit, and that took care of it. But I was freaking out thinking, why is my dick red? And they said it was eczema. So there you go. Wow. I'm burying my fucking souls. But the point is, that was within a year or so, and I had no STDs whatsoever. So
yeah. Well, I'm going to bare my soul. I was down in Atlanta. I had sex with a professional woman, and when I came back, something was wrong down there, man. And I found out I had venereal warts.
Oh God. I have had 3 HPV vaccinations.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm supposed to be, I don't know if immune is like too strong, but I have been fully vaccinated against HPV.
Well,
3 shots.
Mr. Mann says Caleb identifies as a crybaby.
Got a picture of Aldo with that professional in Atlanta.
one of the best. She was worth every penny. You were, dude. All right. For those of you who do not know, every week, right here on this show, named Bear Their Souls, Johnny Santucci delivers a 3, 4, 5 minute Bears State of Affairs. As we said at the top of the show, Tooch, when you first started, we were kind of, and a lot of it had to do was because you were freezing when you were delivering.
Yeah, the new laptop helps,
Woo, man. All of your Bears State of Affairs have been on fire. I'm actually going to go back and listen and watch some of those old ones to see. Maybe I underestimated those early ones because of the bad internet connection. But the stage is yours, my friend.
Yeah, all right. Bears State of Affairs, NFL 2024 offseason, week 7. What's happening, Barflies? Well, there's always something going on with the Chicago Bears. Yeah, and we are still smack dab in the middle of Decision Gate. Yeah, we're still in the middle of Decision Gate. Decision Gate overshadows everything. Yeah, last week, because of Decision Gate, I got sympathy pimples from Aldo. And the past 2 days, I've been shitting my brains out because I think I got sympathy diarrhea from Dan Aguirre. I don't know, man. They say the norovirus is going around. I don't know. All right. Barflies, they thought we weren't ever going to talk about prolapsed anuses again, but hey, it's Decision Gate. Right?
Yep.
Decision Gate. Yep. It permeates everything. It's in full swing. There's always something going on with the Chicago Bears. What's Ryan Poles going to do? Trade down, trade Justin Fields, keep that #1 pick and draft a quarterback? Who knows? The debate rages on, but maybe not for too much longer. Regarding Ryan Poles, the Bears GM apparently found a less than appealing trade market for Justin Fields following last week's NFL scouting combine. It's possible that the market for Fields is light because everyone knows the Bears are going to draft a quarterback, and keeping Fields would create a locker room problem. Teams know the Bears need to upgrade at quarterback, and with the #1 pick, this is their best opportunity to do so. Not only that, but this draft's quarterback class may see 6 quarterbacks taken in the first round. Conclusion, the Bears are not likely to get a good return on Justin Fields. And really, the Bears have no one to blame but themselves, Aldo. The Bears haven't developed their quarterbacks. How do we know this? Because the Bears have had a quarterback on a rookie contract for the past 7 years and still have quarterback questions.
Good point.
Yes.
They've drafted 2 in the first round, and it's looking like they'll cut bait on a second first-round quarterback in a row. And before that, they didn't know what to do with Jay Cutler. Lord knows they tried, though. They threw about a dozen different offensive coordinators at him, including meathead Mike Tice. I just wanted to say meathead tonight. Yes, the Bears have nobody to blame but themselves. And it's not a surprise that the market for Justin Fields is not what the Bears or Bears fans were expecting. After all, Justin Fields is still relatively an unknown. The Bears haven't really done much to help Fields succeed, though. You could easily say that the Bears haven't done much to help their last 3 quarterbacks succeed in the NFL. Like I said in past Bears State of Affairs, the Bears have not drafted well, nor have they surrounded their quarterbacks with coaches and players that are necessary for all NFL quarterbacks to find success in the league and build a consistent winning franchise. And while he hasn't been a complete bust in the NFL, his play hasn't been consistent enough for the Bears to know whether to stick with him for the long haul. That's the dilemma of Decision Gate. Add in the fact that Ryan Poles and Matt Eberflus inherited Fields when they took over for Ryan Pace and Matt Nagy, and you have an unfortunate set of circumstances for Justin Fields. Hey, as shitty as it seems, Fields may just be a victim of bad timing, especially after hiring offensive coordinator Shane Waldron, who many feel was the reason for Geno Smith's recent success. A lot of Bears fans are curious to see what Waldron can do with Justin Fields, and rightly so. At times, Fields has been an electric playmaker. The 2024 season is a pivotal year for the Bears, with the arrow pointing up and Matt Eberflus needing some significant results in year 3 to warrant another year as head coach of the Bears. Having a guy like Caleb Williams on a rookie deal would give the Bears more leeway to Poles and Eberflus, and they could build a roster and sign young veterans to a young roster that's been ripped to the studs since 2021. They can likely buy themselves some more time by resetting the clock with a new quarterback on a rookie deal. Again, that's Decision Gate. You look at someone like Fields, who's handled his position and the media with class since day one. No one questions his leadership skills. No one questions his work ethic. He's been professional since he arrived here. Williams, on the other hand, feels like a guy who might come in having already made a ton of NIL money, thinking the world revolves around him with his dad angling to circumvent the collective bargaining agreement. But at the first sign of distress, the Chicago fans and media will make it tough at the podium. He might be a phenomenal football player, but if Williams can't handle the pressure and the sting of losing in the NFL, Bears fans are going to be less than thrilled in the near future, especially if Fields goes to another team and leads his new team to a Super Bowl. No amount of cute winks from Williams to the media is going to change that. If the Bears decide that their plans will be centered around Williams or another rookie quarterback, the setup around the rookie quarterback is what will determine his success in transitioning from college to the NFL. The Bears will need to have a good framework in place for the next quarterback. After all, their track record with Fields and Trubisky is certainly a cause for concern. But on to happier news. Today is Justin Fields' birthday. Yeah.
Happy birthday!
Yeah. I gotta admit, I was a little worried when the Bears might trade the kid on his birthday. That'd be a shitty birthday.
That would.
That'd be a shitty birthday, especially if they traded him to some team that's also rebuilding, like the Patriots. That would suck. Poor kid. I guess half Bears fans would be upset, and the other half would be happy. The Caleb Williams fans would probably be like, see, Williams is better than Fields at birthdays, bro. Yeah, I kind of fell flat. Not only is today Justin Fields' birthday, but it's also tag day, and the big question of what will happen to Jalen Johnson was answered. The Bears used the non-exclusive franchise tag on Jalen Johnson. It's a move that either keeps Johnson in Chicago for the 2024 season or gives the Bears big-time compensation, 2 first-round draft picks if he walks. As well, the Bears reached an agreement with the Buffalo Bills to acquire offensive lineman Ryan Bates in exchange for a 2024 fifth-round draft pick. Bears fans may remember that Ryan Poles tried to sign Bates as a restricted free agent 2 years ago, but the Bills matched the offer. With so much health uncertainty around Tevin Jenkins and Nate Davis, it's possible that Poles wanted a vet he could trust to spell either guy. This still shouldn't stop them from drafting or signing a center, though. After acquiring Bates, the Bears now have only 5 picks in the upcoming draft, which, as we all know, is not enough for Ryan Poles. No, sir. Yeah, with Poles' penchant for trading back in the draft, doesn't this make it even more likely that Poles will try to trade either or both of his first-round picks? Man, Decision Gate is a bitch, ain't it? Yeah, Bears fan base is nearly evenly divided. Like Aldo and Dan said, some people are all in on Caleb and think the Bears are trading Fields by weekend. Some people are all in on Justin and think the Bears will be trading the first-round pick before the draft. And some fans out there think all signs point to Tyson Bagent starting next year.
Nobody thinks that.
Some in the chat room, I think. I don't know. The thing is, the very same fans that are dying to get Caleb Williams on the Bears are the same fans that will be demanding them to fire Ryan Poles if Caleb Williams turns out to be a bust. Ain't that the truth? Yeah, Decision Gate has Bears fans' heads spinning. And last week I said that I would endeavor to show 1 post a week that shows how Decision Gate is affecting the average Bears fan. And this week, I've got video evidence.
Awesome.
If I can find it.
Well, I moved things around. I apologize.
I know. Where's my cord? Oh, there it is at the top.
All right. Fuck this.
Did you see Cap?
State of affairs. Oh.
Yeah. Oh, Dan. Dan, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
He felt bad about my sympathy diarrhea and left.
Dan is right. Take a look at Cap. He's on the far left.
All right. Fuck this.
The double take. Whoa. I wish I had one of those sound effects from a cartoon. Oh, Lord. That was another excellent job by Johnny Santucci. I'm going to isolate that one and put it up on YouTube. Oh, my God. We got 513 people. Who the fuck, who the fuck is watching this?
It's all about my dick, man. That's what brings it. You know that song about her, what was it? Her tits bring the boys, their milkshake brings the boys to the yard or whatever. It's our dicks bring viewers too? Okay, never mind.
Oh Lord.
What do you think, John? What do you think? Where are we now at this Fields Caleb thing? I mean, everyone else has got an opinion. What is yours?
Man, look here. I'm kind of with like Adam Hodge. I've said this before. That if Fields will trade both picks down, or one, or at least one or both. If he was going to trade one, I would say trade the first pick back. There's 6 quarterbacks that could go in the first round, and then it just let the competition between Fields and a rookie. I know that seems unlikely. People say, "No way! Oh no, you can't have 2." Yeah, it's not possible. I think it is, man. He's only got 5 picks now after he traded a 5th round pick for Ryan Bates. You know, that's just not enough for a guy like Poles. You know, he's got to have more. I mean, last time we had 5 picks, he turned it into 11. That was the draft I was making fun of. I was like, I thought he was just going to keep trading out of the draft till he didn't make any picks. You know, he just kept trading and trading. Well, my draft's over. I've traded everything. You know, I've got no picks.
See, yeah. But here's my feeling on that is I don't mind. I almost feel like they should try to trade up, like trade back into the 2nd round. You know, fuck the 6th round, 7th round. You know, really go for it this season, whether it's Fields or Caleb, and just really load up on talent and make a Super Bowl run this year with high quality talent that you found primarily in the first 2 days of the draft. And then, you know, on day 3, you got the 4th round and 5th round. Concentrate on those 2 rounds and then take the rest of the fucking day off. Yeah. Just we got 10 guys in the first 4 rounds, so fuck you, we're gonna go party.
Ideally, he would trade from 1 to 2, let the Washington football team take Caleb Williams, and then trade from 2 to 3, let the Patriots take Drake May, and have a whole bunch of picks. It's a deep draft, like you said, from the first round to about the 4th or 5th round. But after that, there's nothing. You know, there's nothing after that. And then, you know, he could do whatever he wants. At the 3rd pick, he could take Marvin Harrison Jr. Then you get to 9 or wherever he's got next. You trade down a little bit, pick up another 2nd round or 3rd rounder, and then you grab someone like Roma Dunes.
Yeah, that's my guy.
Yeah,
please get him. Tooch, anyone else in this draft after the combine and what you saw and read and heard? Anyone really stand out to you? Because one guy that did for me is Dallas Turner, the edge pass rusher from Alabama. He ran like a 4.4 something. The guy I would love to bring him in the rookie year and say, listen, 3rd downs are yours. Just go out there on 3rd down. Don't wait for anybody to say, hey, get in there. Go out there on 3rd down. And the guy that with the quarterback, go get him. Go fucking get him. And that guy is going to be tremendous. And then over time, he will get fleshed out as a full defensive end and stop the run and all that stuff. But that guy is going to be a premier pass rusher. And I would hate for the. This is why I want to trade that number 1 overall pick so that I can get Dallas Turner, so I can get Roma Dunze, and then late in the 1st round, pick up an offensive lineman or something else.
Yeah, I'm not opposed to them taking one of the 2nd-tier quarterbacks and hedging their bets against Fields. Because, I mean, one guy that's moving up is Jordan Silvera's guy, J.J. McCarthy. Grew up a Bears fan, loves the Bears, would love to play for the Bears, local kid. You know, I don't mind picking him. You know, he's already, you know, prepackaged. Let him sit. The Packers have had great success with quarterbacks sitting for a year or 2 behind the guy who's there. Yep. You know, I'm not opposed to doing that. We haven't tried it before. Let's try it.
Well, and so since we're on that topic, I would say Michael Penix, the southpaw quarterback from Washington, who was the guy throwing all those passes to Roma Dunze. Man, I like this guy. And he did really well at the combine. He didn't have a great national championship game. That is true. But, you know, there's been great quarterbacks who have failed in the national championship game, and you can't really blame it sometimes on the quarterback. But that guy, throughout the season, he just throws accurately. He throws a deep ball. I would love to try to pick him up somehow.
The chat room is like, you know, they're upset. They're like, like receiver isn't deep. Deep as shit, man. Adonai Mitchell, frickin' Jalen Polk. I mean, look, Washington had 3 or 4 receivers that were frickin' good, man.
Yes,
Lamonte, did you watch any Huskies football? Kalen DeBoer is a great coach, man. Penix was firing, man. On all, he had tons of guys to throw to. You know, Rome Odunze, man, has he seen Keon Coleman or Adonai Mitchell, Brian Thomas Jr., Marvin Harrison Jr.? You know, there's a ton of wide receivers. I mean, I like Rome, but man, he doesn't have a react ability like Keon Coleman. Man, that guy's shifty as fuck.
Yes.
You know, I mean, that Xavier Legette, another big X receiver. There's guys out there. You don't have to have Rome Odunze. Would it be nice? Sure.
Yeah.
But man, the Bears have 5 picks and 55 holes to fill.
Yeah, exactly. That's the issue. You know, if you want, you know, you might have to bypass a guy who's a sure shot at superstardom, like a Rome Odunze, and get a guy who could potentially be a superstar, like a Xavier Legette. I mean, big ass frame, does a tremendous one-handed catches. You know, I don't know. What do you think, Dan? You think the Bears should entertain, if the Bears use the number 1 pick on Caleb Williams, you think the Bears should entertain trading the number 9 pick?
I mean, you're always going to have to entertain it, but I liked what you said earlier when you're like, fuck the 6th round, fuck the 5th round. I mean, how many more Vildors do we need on the team? I mean, it's like, let's go all in and try to get the best guys that we can get to try to win this season.
Right.
So that would mean taking the first. Right, we could have free agency, but that would mean utilizing the 1st pick and the 9th pick in that scenario and just drafting your guys.
Yes. Yeah, you know, when you're making draft picks, part of what you want to do, part of the coolness of it, for lack of a better word, is you're picking up guys whose contracts are a lot lower than veterans, and so that's a good job. That's a good way to manage the salary cap, and so. I would much rather manage the salary cap with players taken in the first 4 rounds than players taken in 5, 6, 7. In your excellent Bear State of Affairs, you said, you know, Poles is quite adept at accumulating draft picks. I think this is the one year where I would like him to do it the opposite way. Not get those 6th and 7th picks, but get the 3, 4, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th
2,
picks.
3, and 4. If he could keep it within the top 4 or 5 rounds,
Yep.
Yeah, I would love for him to get that 2nd round pick from Washington that we gave him for Montez Sweat. You know, it's like remember that 2nd round pick we gave you for Montez? Yeah, I'm gonna be giving that back.
Exactly.
On, hand it over.
Exactly.
And the edge rushers. There's some. I love Dallas Turner, man. That's the number 1 guy for me. I mean, he's got the frame to grow into, you know, something like Khalil Mack. He played at like 251. Dallas Turner's about 245. You think he can add 6 pounds on the Adam Shaheen Chipotle diet?
Yeah.
You know?
Well, and when Dallas met the media, he said last year he played primarily at 255 and he thought that was his best weight.
Yeah.
And that, you know, he could add more weight, but he felt so strong and powerful at 255. So hell, if the Bears were to draft him, I would say, okay, play at 255 and then we'll adjust accordingly if we see the need to.
Yeah. And you know, free agency starts a week from tomorrow.
Yes, it does.
You know, that's going to be a lot of data. Gauge more about what we think Ryan Poles will do. You know, whether he adds a pass rusher, you know, he's got to draft one for the future. I mean, it depends on what sort of contract he can get out of guys like, you know, Danielle Hunter and Brian Burns and what's the other guy? Bryce Huff.
There's
a ton of these guys out there, you know.
So on the screen are the free agent edge players. Jonathan Grenard from the Texans is somebody that has to be highly considered. That guy was a phenomenon working opposite of Will Anderson, the Texans' number 1 draft pick from last season. Grenard, the only problem with him, I think he's 25, 26. He's had a few injuries over time, but I'd be willing to take a chance on him. And then another familiar name on this list is Leonard Floyd. I would love to have Leonard Floyd back and just tell him, you are now just a pass rusher. We're going to use you primarily on 3rd downs. DeMarcus Walker will play round 1 and 2, plays downs 1 and 2. And you, Leonard Floyd, I want you to get 15 sacks this year with limited play, just going after the QB on passing.
I wouldn't be surprised if they grab Josh Uche. He's a guy like that that's just come in and rush the passer. He was on the Bills last year. That's a guy that Eric Washington knows pretty well.
Any names on this list, Dan, that stick out to you?
I liked Leonard Floyd the first time, and I don't want to contradict you. I wasn't opposed to bringing him back, but he's got to be damn near 30 now, right?
He's 31.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, unless he's coming for like, one of those league minimum deals, and he's probably going to get money elsewhere. So, I mean, more money than what the Bears would give him. So, I don't know if Leonard would come back, or we would sign him back. Yeah, he's getting a little older now.
Yeah, I mean, I'm talking about a one-season
tag today.
Yeah, Brian Burns was tagged.
Burns got the tag. Okay.
Yes,
that'd be a guy. It'd be great. Man, I mean, if we signed Brian Burns, I feel bad about how much we plundered the Panthers recently. We've already raped the shit out of them.
It's very, very true. Here, a name on that list that I really like a lot is the Miami Dolphins pass rusher Andrew Van Ginkel, because he was featured on Hard Knocks during the season show. I think they picked up in week 9 and stuff, and there were injuries to the Dolphins defense. And Ginkel, who's 29 years old, finally got his shot to go out there, and that guy played like a fucking demon. I mean, he's got that attitude, that Bears attitude. He just wants to get the sack. He's a badass motherfucker. Ginkel, to me, would be a great value signing for this team.
Shaq Barrett, that's a guy, I don't know how old he is, but that's a guy that always seems to get to the quarterback, man, for the Buccaneers.
Those last two guys, Floyd, Barrett, and Ugba, I think are 30, 31 in that area.
Yeah, they're older guys, yep.
Yeah. So the whole thing with Danielle Hunter, you've got the money to sign a guy who's going to be that expensive. He wants $25 million minimum for the season, and so that would handcuff the Bears in the near future if they kept Justin Fields. If you draft Caleb Williams and you sign a big name free agent like that defensive end, Danielle Hunter, then it wouldn't be that, implausible to see.
Yeah, Danielle Hunter's 29? I think he'll be 29 this
year. He's 29, yes. Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't know how long you want to sign him to a deal. I don't think he shouldn't, 5-year deal would be 34 at the end of that.
Yeah, I don't think you should do that.
Yeah.
It's kind of like Robert Quinn.
Yeah.
Right.
Very similar to that.
Well, and they had polls. I read this. He hasn't signed anyone for a contract over 4 years. So Montez Sweat, 4-year deal. A bunch of other players, Cole Kmet, 4-year deals. So that tells me that he's going to look for value, and Bears should take a free agent safety. So let's look at some of those guys.
They have to because you can't afford to stick a rookie out there at that position. Calling defensive plays and stuff. There's plenty of them out there. Xavier McKinney's a young guy, man, makes a lot of plays. Let's see. Geno Stone on the Ravens, another guy that wouldn't be too bad.
Goddamn, Micah Hyde's got to be 34, right?
He's 32, I want to say.
He's been around a while.
He has. I 10 years ago, I would have said, to Micah Hyde, not now.
That Gardner Johnson's that shit talker that fucked us in the New Orleans playoff game.
He's good, though, man.
He is a good player.
There's no doubt about it. But he's a dick. He's a dick.
Oh my god,
he is a playmaker though, man. But yeah, he's the dude that punched. Was the wide receiver he punched on our team?
Javon Wims and Anthony Miller.
Yeah, Javon Wims. Yeah, he got in a fight with Wims and Miller.
Got under their skin, man. And it was very costly. That one playoff game where we really should not have been in the playoffs. 8-8 record, I think it was, and we just kind of backed in. We didn't win our final game. We just backed into the playoffs. So that was pretty fucked up. All right. So any other names on here? What about Xavier McKinney from Buffalo Bills?
He's on the Giants, I think, isn't he?
Well, yeah, you're right. He is on the Giants. You're right.
Or he was. Yeah, I like him, man. Young playmaker. I like he was Alabama safety.
6 interceptions, I believe he had last season. So he's a turnover machine.
Yep. He's young, up and coming. That's a good. Yeah, Trolls likes adding those 24, 25-year-old guys to get that young nucleus. You know. So I don't know how old is Caleb Williams.
Caleb is 22, I believe.
22. Okay. Fields is what? He just turned 24 today?
25.
Yeah.
25 or 24? 25. Okay.
Yeah. So there is a little bit of a difference there in age, but Cliff says good safeties are available. Grab one. You're right. I mean,
100%.
I think any one of these guys, the higher price guys like Gardner Johnson, McKinney, Curl, Justin Blackman, Jordan Fuller, any one of those guys, they're going to come, fairly expensive, would be good. But I would gladly settle for Chin, Stone, Whitehead, and Gilman. Nope, I don't want him.
I don't know what their plans are for Ryan Bates, but a free agent center would be a good idea too. There's some good centers in this draft too. It's pretty deep, some real good players at the top, and then some decent players throughout all the way to about the 4th, 5th round,
including the guy that played for Waldron in Seattle. I forgot his name,
yeah.
but he's out
what
there.
Is his name? Yeah, and the Lloyd Cushenberry is a name that's been linked that supposedly Poles likes. But, maybe he's got Ryan Bates penciled in as center and he's done. But, I mean, a veteran center that is good at making line calls, it would be good to strengthen the center.
I agree.
Strong up the middle.
Jamal Adams it was announced today that he's a free agent, so he was not on my list. He's a strong safety, but you know what? Now these safety positions, they're interchangeable. The days of free safeties and strong safeties for some teams are gone. They want the strong safety to be able to play free safety and vice versa. So that gives the defensive coordinator more opportunities to do certain things without having to change a player. So those guys who can play the box and those guys that can play center field are highly valuable. And I think Jamal Adams can do both, but he's going to be very, very expensive. And he's had some injuries in his career. So I might stay away from him. I really loved him in the draft. Kay is saying not true, Aldo. Give me a little more information, Kay, on what I said that you don't agree with.
You got free agent centers on there too?
I don't. The other position that I have, I wish I would have done that, was running backs because there's a lot of speculation. And Derrick Henry's name is on this.
Man.
Yeah, Derrick Henry's name is on this list.
Fantasy football gold there, the gold mine.
Yeah, right. Dan Aguirre loves Derrick Henry. What do you think, Dan? Would you make a move to try to see how much?
He's a little bit older now, though, so that concerns me. Like you said, you can't give him like a 3-year deal or something. I would bring Freeman back before that, but I figure he's gone.
Foreman, you mean? Deontay?
Yeah, my bad. Yeah, Foreman. Deontay Foreman.
I don't think the Bears would re-sign him, though. Something happened at the end of the season there. It's just like they're done with Foreman, right?
Yeah, I agree. I don't know like what they would do with Henry, but I like him. And Singletary's kind of a scat back, but I mean the name obviously would be fits.
People like that idea of Saquon Barkley coming here.
That's going to be a big contract wherever he goes, and he's hurt a lot.
Yep.
I like Josh Jacobs.
Yeah.
Like Nomad always talked about him, and I agreed with him, but man, he kind of struggled last season.
Yep. But this draft is so deep at running back, man. It's a really deep draft. There's lots of good players at running back. Aldo, I'm sure will agree.
Yeah, there are, but I will say, I mean, running backs every year you can find a good running back. You can wait till undrafted free agents, but some of these names, like I love Austin Eckler. You know, now I know
guy
he
that has some injury history though too.
Exactly. And last season he had a couple of injuries. It started early in the season, and it started to affect him a little bit as the season went on.
Yeah.
So, you take that with a grain of salt, but even the young guys get injured. Look at Rashawn Johnson. He missed 4 games.
J.K. Dobbins hasn't really been on the field much.
Right.
For the Ravens.
He sounds like an author of a Harry Potter book.
Who's that?
J.K. Dobbins.
J.K. Rowling.
Yeah. By the way, Jamal Adams has played 10 games in the last 2 seasons. So that's why I say he's had some injury issues.
I thought that's who we were going to draft. Not necessarily when we traded up for Trubisky, but at number 3, I thought we were going to draft Jamal Adams.
Exactly. I liked Patrick Mahomes. He was my favorite quarterback, but I didn't think he was worthy of a number 3 pick in that draft.
That proved to be untrue.
Very.
I would have taken him at 3. I'm on the record. But Jamal Adams is a guy that, like, when he's out, the Seahawks defense sucked. You know, when
Didn't the
Jamal
Jets
Adams
get like
came,
2 first-round picks for him, sending him to Seattle?
I think they
I think
did.
so,
Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah, and Ravi says Braylon Allen. You know, Dan,
Oh, yeah.
if you like Derrick Henry, you might
Oh, yeah.
like Braylon Allen because
Have you
this is
seen
a
this kid? If you
big
got a picture of him, he's like the Hulk. He's
yeah.
So where is he from?
Wisconsin.
Muscles on top of muscles. Yeah, he played for the Badgers last year. He's
All
big,
right.
man. He's like Derrick Henry's size. He's only 20 years old too. He's just a kid.
Mm-hmm.
If you see a picture of him,
Well, we tried that with Rashawn Salam when he was a kid, but
I mean,
I guess it worked for 1 year.
He was smoking too much pot, apparently.
Oh, when he said that, when he said that in an NFL Films clip, I started to crack up. And I'll never forget the quote. He says, "That marijuana will mess you up."
He was high all the time.
Yes.
Shit.
Let me see. I got a picture. Oh shit! I got a picture of Braylon Allen. I'll put it up in just 30 seconds. But yeah, this guy is built.
He's
like
ripped,
shit.
man. He's fucking all muscle.
Yeah. But he's not my favorite running back in this draft. My favorite running back is probably the Notre Dame kid, Audric Estime, and he might be available a little later than people anticipated.
He's another
because
beast.
he had a slow 40, but I wouldn't worry about that.
That's not his game.
Yeah, this
He's
is
just
Braylon Allen. Yeah. Look at this motherfucker. He looks like Derrick Henry.
In his combine shirt, man, he was like all muscle. Just
let me see if I can find
huge
that.
arms, huge thighs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Estime, it's not his game. He's just, he's going to knock you over 4 yards, get 4 yards,
Yeah.
If he's lucky, he'll run for 15 to 20. He's not a guy that's going to break out for, long runs.
Yeah, Braylon
man,
Allen.
Aldo, do you like Jahmyr Gibbs? You know who that guy is? He's on the Lions.
From the Lions? Of course. You know what? When
if the Bears could get a guy like that, I think it could change your offense. But the guy I like, if you watch the kid from Tennessee, Jalen Wright. That's this draft, this year's draft, Jahmyr Gibbs. That dude always breaks away and he's gone.
Okay, I'll check out some of this tape. I will.
Jalen Wright, Tennessee.
I was going to say, when the Lions drafted Jahmyr Gibbs, I was surprised that they were going to make him a first-round draft pick. But Danny Shimon was very critical of it. I didn't see, because I likened Jahmyr Gibbs to Marshall Faulk, a player who I loved. Yeah, it's like having a wide receiver and a running back on the field at the same time, one player. So
but when I watched Falk play, I wasn't like, kill that little boy. That's what I feel like when I'm watching the Lions. I'm like, somebody fucking hit that midget. That's what I'm saying the whole time. I'm like, he's 5'6", 112 pounds. Somebody hit him.
Yeah, chat room agrees with me.
Yeah, they are.
I'm telling you, man. Watch this kid. He's Jahmyr Gibbs.
This is Braylon Allen.
He's like the Incredible Hulk, man. Look at the size of his arms and shoulders.
Look at his cock. Sorry.
There it is. Oh, man.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not completely enamored with the guys we got. Rashawn Johnson, he's okay. I like Khalil Herbert. He's got some breakaway speed. But I think he's out of contract after this season.
No, after this season. He's under contract in
2024.
Yes.
I would draft a little Thunder and Lightning, man. Trade back and get Braylon Allen and Jalen Wright. I'd draft both of them.
Yeah.
And then keep Roshan and Khalil around.
So what about this scenario? If the Bears do draft Caleb Williams, would you love for the Bears to try to get Brendan Rice, the wide receiver from USC, who is also Jerry Rice's son, and the running back from USC, Marshawn Lloyd, who is a great third down back and can help the team? Would you like to surround Caleb Williams with some of his USC teammates?
Brendan Rice is going to go a lot higher than people think. That's just my thought. I mean, I know he's Jerry's kid and stuff. He's a good player, man. And like I said, this draft is so deep at wide receiver. It's so deep at running back. There's some good tight ends too, man. Like Brock Bowers would be like, we talked about last week of him being like the Travis Kelce in this draft, But they have some people say he's going like number 9 overall to the Bears. To me, that's a little high, but I could be wrong. I don't know.
Somebody said that we talk too much about dicks, and that's because we are dicks. I've heard it many times. Aldo, you're a dick.
Well, you're never going to get David Kaplan talking about dicks. So that's the joy of our show.
Well, I don't know about that. The ESPN guys are trying more to talk like podcasters. The great thing about
Sylvie.
podcasting. Yes. Have you noticed that?
Yeah, he goes out to
Sylvie
that
show?
swing or something and it says fuck all the time, and that whenever the Bears lose.
Yeah, and their promotions, Waddle and Sylvie's promotions on Twitter or X, they're throwing F-bombs, and Waddle is saying fuck you to Sylvie and stuff. And I'm like a little taken aback because to me, I'm 65 years old. There's that clean differing zone of the guys who do clean broadcasts and us motherfuckers who are always saying fuck you and talking about dick and pussy and stuff like that. There's a clean, and they're invading into our territory so they can take our audience. Well, fuck you, Waddle and Sylvie. Stop it.
Hey, Aldo, can I ask you for a small favor?
Sure.
The other Dan, and I mean the other Dan,
Todd,
he wants to come on.
Well, come on.
Are you opposed? Yeah, he wants to come on now.
I'm going to put it in.
Mr. Scrody? I love Mr. Scrody.
I can take a piss, too, when he comes on.
I also need to pee, but I'm going to wait. I got to talk to Dan. He's my long-lost brother here.
Before you bring him on, can I answer this?
Sure. Take your time. It's going to take a little while for him to get up.
I started this one from Laz. I love Laz. Every team that needs a quarterback apparently isn't valuing Justin Fields that high, but I guess they all don't know football. But that's not true, man, because it's not Justin Fields or whether they know football or not. It's the situation that the Bears are in that's causing Fields' value to be low. It's not. There's plenty of teams and players in the NFL who think Justin Fields is good or great or could be great. It's the situation that the Bears find themselves in with 6 quarterbacks probably in the first round. Everybody thinking the Bears want to move on for Fields. If the Bears want to move on for Fields, why should they pay a premium for Justin Fields? He's out of contract after next year unless you get exercise his 5th-year option. So, I mean, it's not whether or not people know ball or not. There's plenty of teams that want Justin Fields. I mean, look at Atlanta. It was Ryan Pace who drafted him. The Steelers were in on him for a while, but I bet you they didn't want to pay whatever price Poles was thinking he could get for him. That's it. If you're reading between the lines, the Steelers backed away because, hey, man, why don't we just draft somebody? We're sitting at, I think the Steelers are sitting at 18. They might be thinking they could get J.J. McCarthy or Bo Nix or Michael Penix there.
Yeah, I think here's the thing regarding Justin Fields' trade value. You really can't make a determination. So, Laz, I respectfully disagree with you. What's happening now with all these rumors about the trade value is stuff that is being planted. That's being planted on there, and we won't know what his trade value is until and if he is traded. That's the truth. This is everything that we've been talking about today, besides Dan's dick, is not something you can believe. So that's the case.
We're not just here to talk sympathy diarrhea, Laz.
Did you really get the diarrhea stuff there,
I've
Tooch?
been shitting for 2 days straight, man. At least past 2 days, at least a dozen shits.
I'm telling you, I had 15, to the best of my ability, 15 water shits where they were all water. For 24 hours, I was fucking dying.
Oh, my God.
I mean, look, why should teams hurry up and grab Justin Fields when there's still Kirk Cousins, Baker Mayfield, and Russell Wilson still out there? Those are guys who've proven that they could do it in the NFL. Like I said, in Bears State of Affairs, Justin Fields is still an unknown. But what we should all agree on is that the Bears have not done right by Justin Fields. They didn't put a coaching staff around him to give him any kind of success. Greg Gabriel said, was it yesterday or today? What was Greg Gabriel, today or yesterday?
Yesterday.
Yesterday. He said the poor kid hasn't had a coach there since he got here. Hasn't had a coach worth a damn since he got here.
Can we acknowledge, thank God we didn't get Russ Wilson, though?
Oh, my gosh. Thank you, Dan Aguirre.
What that contract he got from Denver? That could have been us. Remember, the Bears were talking about trying to trade 3 first-round picks for him.
Yeah, fuck that. Mike
my
North
God.
wants to bring him in because Mike's contention is, okay, he's only going to cost the Bears $2 million. So if you're going to draft the quarterback, let the quarterback sit and let's play Russell Wilson. And that type of thinking isn't totally bad, but I just don't like it. Russell Wilson on the Bears, that train he should have been picked in the 3rd round when he came out in the draft instead of, Seattle picking him in the 3rd round. By the way, I hit Google and said Dan Aguirre's dick, and I only came up with photographs of his dick when he was much younger, and here it is.
This is Sparta.
You had a beard back then, huh, Dan?
Yeah. What is it now?
You had a beard back then.
Nope, no, that's not me. That's not me. Then that's
that must be
tell. I'd never had a beard.
If the Bears went on a win streak, Dan was going to grow out his beard. Remember
Nope, I denied that. I said I would never do that.
What about next year? What if they like?
No, man, I don't like beards. And my beard's nasty. It's a neck beard. It's like Kyle Orton's beard. It's KO's beard. Literally the same beard pattern.
Well, nobody's perfect.
I love that. Are you guys with me on the thing that, like, Justin Fields has had 3 years of crap teams and crap coaches? I don't know what he is. I mean, I'm like, Luke. Here's what they did. They drafted Justin Fields, and they had Matt Nagy as a lame duck coach and Ryan Poles as a lame duck GM. And we all know what a bad coach Matt Nagy was. At the time, I said he was the worst Bears coach we ever had, and that includes Jim Dooley. I'm old enough to remember Jim Dooley.
And Tressman.
And Mark Tressman.
Who's working with Jim Harbaugh now.
So if after that, we had a tank season where his roster was terrible. He rushed for 1,000 yards, though, And then, imagine if he's a guy, everybody praises Lamar Jackson for 3,000 yards and 1,000 yards rushing. But when Fields does it or gets close to doing it, it's like he sucks,
Mm-hmm.
And then this past year he had DJ Moore and Cole Kmet and an offensive line that was half the guys were injured half the year,
mm-hmm.
And Luke Getsy coordinating an offense where I don't think receivers were all on the same page because JT O'Sullivan broke it down like, this guy's what's this guy doing here? Cole Kmet, what's Cole Kmet doing?
Well, and that's one of the things that it befuddles me. If Luke Getsy was such a bad play caller and offensive coordinator, why would the Raiders hire him? Are they, talking amongst themselves and saying, "Yeah, this Justin Fields, he couldn't."
Who else was available though? Really?
Yeah, I don't know, to be honest with you. But here's one question that I would like to pose this way to you two guys. Of the number 1 draft picks that were quarterbacks chosen since 2010, is Justin Fields better than Bryce Young? I think we could say yes, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Trevor Lawrence? That's a close one.
Probably not because of Lawrence's playoff game against the Chargers, that big comeback.
Yeah. Okay, that's a good point. Definitely not Joe Burrow. Kyler Murray?
Right? He's probably better than Murray.
What about to say? Joe Burrow's way better. Come on. Joe Cool.
Yeah, Joe Burrow. But a lot of people are saying Burrow is only good because he's got such great weapons, which I wish Justin Fields had in his first 3 years.
He's got good coaches, man. Zach Taylor's a good offensive mind.
That's another.
Sean McVay's offensive coordinator.
Yep. And you can say that the thing about slick sophistication is Antonio Pierce is an idiot for hiring Getsy.
Well, here's the thing. Luke Getsy had 2 years of learning on the job with the Bears. That's the Bears' downfalls. They always hire these guys. Let's let them learn on the job, the coaches.
Yep.
No. And now then they go somewhere else. And they're like, see, he wasn't that bad. He was here trying to figure shit out.
Yeah. Now here's a good one. Baker Mayfield. Is Justin Fields better than Baker Mayfield? Because if a lot of people, especially GMs, say Fields is better than Mayfield, then that's going to help Justin Fields' trade value. What do you guys think?
Well, are we talking recent Baker? Because recent Baker was pretty good.
We're talking right now. If you got to make a decision between Kyler Murray and Justin Fields, who are you picking? Baker Mayfield and Justin Fields.
I probably still stick with Fields.
I'm going to stick with Fields, but Mayfield has done more.
I like Mayfield.
He's won postseason games and had some great statistics along the way in this postseason. So, but I'm sticking with Justin over him. Like Mayfield's played with like 4 teams already, but
Mayfield's good. He's not bad. I mean, he's played well.
Well, I got to tell you that one of the things I'm very impressed with is Baker Mayfield's maturity. He's playing much better now because he's a more mature player, and he's had to prove himself, and so he's turned into a better teammate, a better student of the game, and he's
How many years has he been
better.
in the league?
Well, he was drafted the year before Trubisky.
Before Trubisky, so 16.
Right, 2016.
Last year was his 7th year in the league. So Fields has been in the year 3. What's Fields going to be like in his 7th year?
I've said that so many times. I'm like, dude, he's 24. He's going to get better. But, no one wants to be patient with that. And
Bears fans have no patience because we haven't had a quarterback ever since Sid Luckman.
See, I take umbrage with that. Again, Eric Kramer was really good in 95, and Jim McMahon was better than people give him credit for.
Yep.
And Jim Harbaugh wasn't horrible.
But their quarterback stardom was so short. For Eric Kramer and Jim McMahon, it was such a short time.
28 straight wins, including a Super Bowl.
$150 million contract. Okay, that's 1/3 the value of Patrick Mahomes' contract.
No, but Laz is making a good point. He's fighting from his argument is Mayfield is better than Fields because Mayfield is going to make $150 million contract. Now that's true, but if you were to look into the future and project that Justin Fields is going
in his
to
7th year, he'd get a $300 million contract.
That could be very, very, very true, Laz. So I don't know. What about Jared Goff and Justin Fields? I think this is kind of a no-brainer. You got to pick Goff just because of his wiliness. He's proven he's a good game manager.
He's a smart player.
Yeah,
and he's led a team to a Super Bowl and to the Detroit to the NFC Championship game.
Yeah, he can read a defense. He runs the offense. He doesn't get rattled behind. He takes the big hit, man, in the pocket. He hangs in there. I mean, Fields takes his hits too, but like Fields is too quick to run. He needs better coaching.
Yep.
I'm anxious. I would like to see what Shane Waldron could do with him.
Yep, same here, Tooch. I'm glad you said that because to me, one of the things I've been studying Shane Waldron a lot. One of the things that I think he can do is cut Fields' birthday. Nano came on even before the show started. I wish I would have saved that.
Yeah, okay.
He was like, Fields is not even worth a 7th rounder. Get over that, Dan Aguirre.
Damn.
He came in early.
A 7th rounder? A 7th round?
He came in early to throw shade.
I wish I would have saved it. God damn it. Anyway, what about Jameis Winston versus Justin Fields?
Winston's had some games where he threw for 400 yards, but also had like 5 picks in those same games.
That's right. One season he had 30 touchdowns and 30 interceptions.
Weren't he and Mayfield 1-2?
You're right.
I think so. So he's about the 7th year, Was it Mayfield Winston, right?
Yeah. And Winston's been on the bench now a couple of years in New Orleans, so I mean, I would rather have Fields.
There it is. Williams is the haul. Fields is worth a 7th rounder. Laugh my fucking ass off.
I don't know, man. What if Williams is Bryce Young and Jaden Daniels is C.J. Stroud? Everyone last year thought Bryce Young was the haul. Turns out
exactly.
Stroud was
and look how poor he played this season.
Yeah. What about Andrew Luck? We shouldn't even go. We know this. Justin Fields is much more capable of taking a hit than Andrew Luck.
And Sam Bradford.
And Sam Bradford.
Sam Bradford was always hurt.
There was a time when Sam Bradford, he's going to start. Was it for Cardinals or Rams? I think it was the Rams. And then the preseason he got injured and he was done. So his career was over.
And then Minnesota got him that one year, remember? And they're like, we got Bradford. And then it seemed to be the same season that scrub took him to the title game. What was his name? He played one really good year there.
Yeah.
In 2017. I can't think of it, but isn't that the same season they got Bradford?
Josh Freeman.
No, not Josh Freeman.
What was the name? It was a kid like that, though, wasn't it? That took him to the.
They lost to Philadelphia and Nick Foles in the championship game in Philly. Anyway, the point is, I think that's the year they got Bradford as well, and he was beaten out by that. Yeah, Case Keenum. There you go. Thank you, Michael.
Case Keenum. Yeah, you're right. Yep, Case Keenum. Yep.
Yeah. So, by the way, where's Mr. Shorty?
He told me he was waiting on your link, but that was a few minutes ago.
I sent it. Mr. Shorty, check the Dan Ciortino. I should have sent it to Bears Country Podcast. Let me see if I can do that.
Fucking Mr. Scrody. You know, he's probably on someone's doorstep taking a leak.
Oh.
All right, Mr. Shorty, I sent it to your Bears Country Podcast DM as well. So hopefully you can join us. Okay, so there was one other thing I put in here and I can't find it. What was? Oh, there was one other clip. It's 4 minutes long, so I might stop it early. But this is the guys over at Mullion Hall talking about Albert Breer's reporting from the Combine that really started to stir up all of this Justin Fields trade value going down. The Bears are definitely going to pick Caleb. So let's listen to Mullion Hall on their morning show on Monday after the Combine.
Friday was a good day for Caleb Williams, whether he was in front of the podium or later with PFT Live and Mike Florio, who he dazzled, or on the other various networks that he appeared. Caleb Williams answered a lot of questions about his character and his personality.
Mm-hmm.
And he had a good weekend.
By all accounts, the people in the room when he met with the Bears, this is from Albert Breer.
Mm-hmm.
Poles was joined by the 5 people who are the point men in the Williams evaluation process. Head coach Matt Eberflus, offensive coordinator Shane Waldron, passing game coordinator Thomas Brown, assistant GM Ian Cunningham, and, of course, team president Kevin Warren.
Of course.
So George was at the Combine but didn't sit in on Caleb Williams thing.
Because Kevin Warren was there. I don't think they have to both be at the same place. I know that people will bristle at that because it's a football.
At Kevin Warren?
Yeah, maybe him being there.
Oh, I don't. I think it's an interesting group. I think it's, it's Poles and Ian Cunningham that are the two that are making the decisions.
Sure. And I think the team president makes sense because of what's at stake with the number 1 overall.
Boy, that escalated quickly.
All right, so I cut that short because Mr. Shorty is joining us. Mr. Shorty, where are you joining us from? I can't hear you.
He's on mute.
$5 in the jar.
No
you're not muted, but we've got no sound on you. Well, Dan Aguirre is really good at reading lips, and so
am I?
I don't know. But Dan, I was going to ask you and Tooch, do you think it was weird that Warren was at the meeting with Caleb, that 10, 15, 20-minute meeting they have at the Combine with Caleb? Do you think that was weird?
No.
Tell me why.
Who's going, me or Tooch?
Go ahead.
I mean, he's the guy. He's the boss moving forward, right? I know Poles is technically the GM, but if you were going to put your faith, let's say it was me, you or me, Aldo, if I was making the decision, wouldn't you still kind of want to see what I'm basing my decision on and just sort of be there and facilitate it?
Yes.
Even if you're not making the call, you just kind of want to be there. Like you're almost like the parental figure of that decision. He should be there.
Right.
Just to see what's going on. I wouldn't be surprised if McCaskey was in there too.
He actually elected not to go. He said, I'll send the team president. I will stay out of it. Tooch, what do you think?
Well, to me, it's weird because this is the thing with the Bears. We never know the hierarchy, who's in fucking charge, man.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, who's making the decisions? We're always wondering, is it going to be George McCaskey or Warren? Who's meddling, who's not? If it's Warren, that's fine. He's more of a football guy than George McCaskey or Ted Phillips. That's fine. But it's certainly maybe a sign or portend for the future. We might be seeing more of Kevin Warren making more football decisions.
Well, I think
this is certainly a big decision, although it's decision gates.
Exactly. That's why I don't. It is indeed. That's why I don't think it's a problem, because what the deal with Caleb Williams, we're just not drafting a football player, if indeed we draft him. We're drafting a brand. And so Kevin Warren probably wants to find out, what the fuck do you have in mind with promoting yourself? Is it going to be over the Bears? Tell me about the team you've put. And they actually met with his branding team, his communications
100%.
director, because he's got a whole fucking team already, unlike anybody else that I've seen.
Talking about his dad.
Exactly.
Right.
So I want to get
No,
Mr. Shorty's thoughts on this. Mr. Shorty, how are you, brother?
What's up, guys? Can you hear me now?
Yes, indeed.
Did you wash your hands before you came in here?
I did, yes.
My former podcast partner.
Oh, shut up.
Man.
You left me on Bare Their Souls, and then you brought me into Bears Country, and then you just cut me.
When you got engaged, he was heartbroken, Dan.
I was canceled.
Dan,
I didn't even say anything left wing, and I still got canceled.
You just weren't making the team, Dan. You just weren't making the team. I wanted to trade you, but I couldn't trade you, so I had to cut you.
Mark
I
Allen
get
was
you.
less than Justin Fields at the combine.
Oh,
So,
guys,
Mr. Shorty, what do you think about Kevin Warren sitting in on this meeting with Caleb? Are you approving of that? A lot of people in the chat don't seem to have a problem with it.
well, first off, I want to say thank you for having me on, guys. I've been really busy, so it's been nice to just come out here for just a little bit and talk with you guys instead of like using my fingers like I do all day. So thank you for that. And Dan, the show is not over, my friend. It's just I have to take a little bit of a break. And
We're on
get back to it.
hiatus.
We're getting back to it soon, my friend. As far as your question, I missed it. So I was trying to like log in and I had problems. So Kevin Warren sat in with on the Caleb Williams interview?
Right. You know, they get each NFL team gets a 15-20-minute interview. And in that interview, it was head coach Matt Eberflus, general manager Ryan Poles. It was the offensive coordinator, Shane Waldron. It was the passing game coordinator. I forgot his name, Brown. He came from the Panthers. And the fifth person was the team president, Kevin Warren. What do you think about that lineup?
I mean, I've gone up and down on, we do this every week, right, guys? It's a lot. We've been with the ebb and flows of this team throughout the entire season, going up into this moment right now, having this conversation.
That's
and
right.
I truly believe it is all just smoke and mirrors. It's like Greg Gabriel keeps saying, it's the lying season. It is the lying season. Listen, I honestly at this point don't care what they do. If they draft Caleb and trade Justin, so be it. And I'll say this: it's because my entire life I've always wanted the Bears to have the number one pick with the quarterback who was like the number one consensus quarterback for the last year or two or three before that draft, and I never thought it would happen. So me as a fan, I'm very excited about that. So I'm torn about that to begin with.
Yeah.
So I look at Caleb, and everything that you said tonight, true. Everything that everyone has said about Caleb is true. And some of the things that are bad about him are not true. And Justin, we've all seen, how many throws have we seen him make where we went, holy shit, we've never seen a Bears quarterback make that throw. It's happened many times over the last 3 seasons. Not enough of them, but they have been there. There's all of that to go on Justin with. But now you take into account how many other people in chat, you guys, have you ever been sitting here going, oh man, if we had just had the number one pick and there was like the consensus number one quarterback that everyone wanted, if that could just be us one day, and here we are. And it begs the question, have you seen, if we are even talking about this, if it's even a narrative that the number one pick in this draft should not be taken by the Bears, then there would be no argument. It would be Justin. He would have given us enough of those beautiful passes that we've seen him throw, but just not consistently. So I go back and forth. I've come to this. I do not expect the Bears to draft Caleb Williams. I think this is all bullshit. If anyone thinks that this pick is going to be taken by the Bears, it devalues it. So they have to think that they are like getting rid of this pick. On the other hand, they have to see what they're getting in Fields just in case too. So that's going to drive up the market a little bit. And if the value isn't there for Fields, I really don't care. It's the value in this pick. This is not about Caleb against Justin. This is about Caleb versus Justin and Marvin Harrison Jr. and so on and so forth, and 2 first-round picks next year and the year after that. That being said, not my opinion. I could give a shit at this point anyway. It's which way they go. I think that they're keeping Justin. I think that the Caleb Williams thing is fully smoke and mirrors. Things about Brad Biggs, has never been this confident that the Bears are doing this, blah, blah, blah. Well, maybe he's getting a bonus from the Bears or from his job.
They're buying
all of this just
more
chicken
chicken wings.
And if it wasn't, I would be worried, quite frankly, if it wasn't, if it was clear cut at this point, I'd be kind of worried that it was. So I think this is all just what it should be. And in the end, I think we're all going to see that, like from everyone has said, you just don't know what you're going to get with Caleb, and you do know what we have with Justin. That is an ascending player. It's not greatness on every play, but it is greatness in some ways on a lot of other plays that are not accounted for, and they're not talked about, and they're not even thought of because everyone's looking at the negative. So there is enough there to work with. And either way, as a fan, I really do trust in Ryan Poles. And
everybody's lying right now,
I'm not.
No, I mean the GM, the teams, TMs, and Daniel Snyder sold the team, right?
Daniel Snyder was forced to sell. Yeah,
forced to sell the team, right? Okay, I was still saying.
Magic Johnson's one of the owners there now.
Yeah. Here's the thing, though, about this whole narrative with Caleb. Apparently, Caleb grew up following and idolizing the Green Bay Packers. He lived in the Washington area, but when asked who's his favorite quarterback, he said, well, Tom Brady is the GOAT. There's no doubt about it, but my favorite quarterback was Aaron Rodgers.
Well, that doesn't mean he was a Packers fan. It's just
that is true. That is true.
Emulating. He also,
like Fat Mike. Fat Mike was allegedly a Bears fan, but had a Brett Favre jersey.
That is so true.
What happened to Fat Mike? Is he still?
He's out there somewhere.
I also read that I think it was like an ESPN article or something that Caleb he's been like researching Walter Payton and Michael Jordan because they're the icons of the city, and he wants to be one of those. Listen, anyone that would be that great as a quarterback in Chicago would overtake both of those guys. They would be the GOATs.
The king
of the city.
Yep.
Forever. Never pay for a meal. Your children's children will never pay for a meal again in Chicago. If you can become the best quarterback in the NFC for the Bears time and time again.
Heidi's here. She says hi.
Heidi, I love you, but I have to pee. So, guys, I'll be right back.
I think Aldo's gone too. Shorty, the Bears only have 5 draft picks now. So, I mean, I'm inclined to agree with you that, Poles is trading out of 1 or 9 or both,
Well, I can't say this on my own show because I get pulled from it before I can even finish my sentence. But I like to, I like to pontificate, right, Aldo?
Yes. And you do a good job of it.
Thank you, sir. So let's just pontificate this. And I'm not saying it's please, the words and things spoken out of my mouth are not necessarily views and opinions of Shorty. It's that what if, I've been watching The Dynasty. Have you guys watched that?
No.
Like to talk about, oh my God, it's
good, huh? The Brady story.
You forget. I mean, we all remember it because we lived it, but people that haven't lived it should go watch it because we forget that Tom Brady was like, what? And we all kind of were waiting for him to fail. And he was, coming into the draft looking like a wiener. And then now he's actually running a 40 faster. Did you guys see that in the draft?
Yes.
Yeah.
At 46. 46.
Yeah. So, I mean, what if, pontificating, Waldron came in and said, I really like that Tyson Bagent kid. If we can just get him stronger, get his arm stronger, I think he has based on all the tape I'm watching and talking to him and blah, 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 he reads things quickly. The ball comes out quick. The footing and the timing, the rhythm is everything is there. Just the arm strength could be a little bit better. What if? And I'm not saying blah blah blah. It's just what if they traded Justin, traded the Caleb pick, and rolled with. They picked up like a McCarthy later or something like that, and they rolled with Bagent next year.
Yeah,
and then Bagent became the next best quarterback. Because they would take that for the Bears. Like, we're not just going to go. If you really think the Bears are just going to draft the number 1 pick and that's going to be the best quarterback in the league, and
you're trolling now, right? Are you trolling?
It's more the Bears to get the undrafted guy, right? It just is more Bears. So
yeah. The undrafted guy is a Chicago favorite, like a Polish sausage with mustard and onions.
Yeah,
I got to tell you this. Mr. Shorty has been doing this whole podcasting thing for less than a year, and he has learned very, very quickly the art of clickbaiting. I mean, what he just said.
The chat room is, I thought it was going to explode.
You said less than a year? It's almost 2 years.
Really? It's been that long?
Dude, it's been less than a year since I've been on the bar room with you guys.
Okay, so see, my problem is that I smoke a lot of marijuana, but my other problem is that I got a terrible memory. But you do bring up a point, Mr. Shorty, that has been brought up by a few others. Like Adam Hogue, I saw this little promotional clip that CHGO sent out. He said that he came out of Indianapolis believing that the Bears were going to draft Caleb Williams, but also a thought that he didn't have before, which was the Bears could trade the number 1 pick and trade Justin Fields and go with one of the other quarterbacks, Jaden Daniels, J.J. McCarthy, Michael Penix, Drake May. What do you guys think about that? I hear Santucci's already in agreement with that scenario.
Those are the 3, possible roads, or 4 possible roads. You got trade Justin Fields and go with Caleb Williams, keep Fields, trade out, and just that's it. You got Fields and Bagent again next year, or they could trade Williams and Bagent. Fields and number 1 pick, and go with someone later like Jaden Daniels or J.J. McCarthy or Michael Penix. Or they could keep Fields and bring in Michael Penix behind him. There's a lot of shit they could do. Nobody knows. I wish we had a crystal ball.
Yeah. What do you think, Shorty?
I think the same thing. I made that was kind of one of my scenarios to my buddy this weekend, was watching the combine, was, well, what if they can somehow trade down, let's just say twice in the first round, and pick up McCarthy, and they can either trade Fields or sign him to the 5th-year option. If he plays well this year, then you have a McCarthy sit in the wings, and then if he balls out, then you can, because quarterbacks they're like stock now. They're not. If you get a good one,
I love J.J. McCarthy. Who was it that threw that up there? Dr. Truth.
Yeah.
I like J.J. a lot. I mean, man, he's got a little Tom Brady moxie in him. Well, he's a little better athlete though too. But that's a dude that if he clicks, man, he's got the leadership, the brain, the smarts. He's got a live arm too. I don't know. The kid loves the Bears,
and he's from Chicago land.
Naperville, yes.
LaGrange Park. He's from
I'm sorry. Nearby.
Yeah, grew up a Bears fan.
One of the things I like about JJ is that he openly talked about his anxiety disorder. And I'm not sure it's exactly anxiety, but he said that he was facing so much stress, that he was putting so much stress on himself because his goal as a kid was to be as good as Michael Jordan, was to be as good as Walter Payton, 2 of his heroes growing up. And so when at Michigan, when that wasn't happening, he got depressed and he sought help. And now he's openly been talking about that in public service announcements. And so that to me shows a maturity when you're that vulnerable, talking about, I wanted to be this great, but I didn't reach it and I got sad about it. That to me, applause. Now, as a player, what I see on tape is a guy who has not been asked to throw the ball a lot, has the tools to become a good passer, and so he definitely, in my mind, needs to sit. And
Greg Gabriel loves him.
If you were to talk to Justin Bieber, who says that the Packers do a great job of and Mr. Shorty
who's
missed
who's that guy that drafts for the Packers? He's doing something right.
Right. That's the plan. You got to draft the quarterback and mentor him and tutor him. And the Bears have never been in that situation. They drafted Justin, and who were the number one quarterbacks? Poles and Dalton. Oh my God.
Yeah, Foles
and before that, Trubisky, who was with Glennon, Mike Glennon.
Glennon.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that's who we got to mentor him.
Does it worry you all the Drake May guy may just be Trubisky 2.0?
Yeah. Yep, he wears number 10. From
I'll
North
tell
Carolina.
you this.
No, he's way better than Trubisky, though.
He is a lot smarter. I put up on my social media account the Trubisky Gruden video where Gruden was telling him, do a hard count on too. And Trubisky didn't know what a hard count was.
God, that's terrible.
And Drake May does. Drake May is a smart kid.
Oh yeah.
And so there's the difference there. Whether May will ever play better than Trubisky, that's to be seen.
It's kind of, Drake May reminds me of a lot of people are like, let's take a chance on this Justin Herbert guy. That might be like what people are getting from Drake May. Justin Herbert wasn't like a surefire thing that year that he came out. Look at a lot of teams love to have Justin Herbert right now.
He's definitely the comp.
Yeah, he's definitely the comp. Yep. Yeah. I mean, you could argue that Caleb May is a better athlete, runs, makes a lot more play with his legs than Justin Herbert.
Mm-hmm. To the McCarthy thing too, it was like Harbaugh or bust for me for the longest time, and a lot of people were like, I kind of disappeared for a minute. Herbert, like, right? Is Shorty okay? Like he disappeared. Is it because of Harbaugh? And McCarthy comes from the Harbaugh tree now in a way, right? So just as looking at all things, taking everything into account as a quarterback prospect, I think that, I have to take that into account when I'm evaluating JJ McCarthy.
Yeah,
and
Harbaugh might draft McCarthy to sit behind Herbert.
Or trade Herbert after he drafts him and get a first round pick for him or two and build that way. I could see that happening.
I got to ask you, I mean, look, the 3 years that Fields has been with the Bears have been, like Garrett Gabriel says, he had nobody coaching him. I'm not trying to make excuses for the kid, but he had nobody to throw to his second year. I mean, the roster was terrible. Who was the number one receiver? I forget on the tank year. Komet and Mooney. Komet and Mooney.
Mooney.
In terms of receptions, yeah, Mooney.
Yeah, I mean, the offensive line was complete garbage. I mean, it's almost like GM malpractice, and this is why I say Fields is just a victim of bad timing, because he came in. He was drafted by the previous regime. We could, we could put the cycle up there all
there
day.
It is.
The cycle up there. So
yeah,
you throw that up there. We drafted Trubisky, and then we flamed out. It wasn't Matt Nagy's guy either. Flamed out. We fired them after those last season. People got sick of Matt Nagy. They figured out he couldn't coach. Whatever.
You forgot hire a new team president after they hire a new GM.
Yeah, I mean, there's so much you could add. It's the Bears, But Fields came in his first year with Nagy. We had Allen Robinson still. Was that who we had with Justin Fields? And he was on his way out the door too. And then the next year Poles came in and stripped it down to the studs, just bare bones, and nothing around Fields to do anything. The kid was running for his life. And then last year, he acquired DJ Moore, which is great. He got a blue chip player, but still, I mean, you saw in games when DJ Moore was shut down that, the Bears didn't have a lot of success passing the ball, but then we surrounded Fields with a rookie head coach and a rookie play caller. It's malpractice what they did. This kid, they did not surround Fields with the framework for success. Like I said, in Bears State of Affairs, it's just, it's tragic, really.
You know what really bothers me though is when, like what you just said, Tooch, I agree with it, but the people that don't like Justin will say, look at you, it's everybody else's fault. It's not Justin's fault. Both things can be true at the same time. Everything that you just said with regards to the front office and the coaching, that can be true And you could still say that Justin underperformed a little bit too, and not, be blaming everybody else. But that's the argument against Fields, is that they immediately try to say that you just won't hold him accountable. And I think that that's bullshit,
Hector, you're talking about the GOAT, bud. This is two different things. We're comparing apples and oranges. Brady was a coach on the field. No comparison. He's the greatest quarterback of all time.
The thing is, I do believe that Tom Brady, just like Joe Montana, benefited greatly from the system that they were in.
Yeah,
these guys got into systems where short passes were the key. Getting the ball up quickly was the key. This is why I said it earlier in the show. C.J. Stroud has such a good season with the Texans, because that is the formula to success in today's NFL. Get the ball, 3-step drop, plant that back foot, get rid of the ball as quickly as possible, and you're going to succeed. And Brady was so disciplined in taking that approach. Joe Montana was too. C.J. Stroud was too. And that, unlike our quarterbacks, or potential quarterbacks, right? Caleb and Justin, these guys are playground quarterbacks. These are the guys I would have loved to have on my flag football team.
If you're talking a guy you're talking about, that's J.J. McCarthy.
Yeah.
That's the guy that plays within the system, gets rid of the ball fast, doesn't run around, knows where to go with the ball, reads the defense. This is why Jordan Silvera likes him so much, why Greg Gabriel likes him so much, man. Yeah. In a couple of years, the guy's going to be like maybe one of the top 10 quarterbacks in the league if he's with the right system. If he's with a coach like Andy Reid, someone of that caliber, make perfect sense for the Rams to take him. Let him sit behind Stafford on the Rams, J.J. McCarthy.
What are you laughing at?
I'm laughing at Foster. Shorty coming with a Bajan comment. Wait for it.
Yeah,
I was just about to say, couldn't that be Bajan?
Fast forward to catch up to the show. You're a little behind.
That's funny.
He's like looking at my face, knowing me from the show, and just like he's about to go Bajan with this. I mean, isn't that the same guy though? You're talking about the same guy, relatively.
Yeah.
All I'm saying,
Dan? Aren't you happy you didn't buy that Bajan jersey now?
Listen, I
wouldn't mind having one.
The views and opinions do not affect the views and opinions of Shorty right now. I'm just putting things out there for people to pontificate. What if his arm is stronger? Would that change your mind on him? Does he have? Did he? What else was Bajan missing besides a stronger arm? If Bajan had Justin Fields' arm going into this season, what would you think of him then? And I'm not, saying I want Bajan to be the guy. I'm just asking the question. What did you see from him last year as far as running an offense and doing everything that you just said? Is it comparable, Tooch? And if he had more arm strength, is it possible that he could be better than anyone thinks? Even including myself, just even making a case for it.
I love Tyson Bagent. He's the kid that came from Division II school. They didn't play a lot of top talent, and he dominated there. But he's a guy that he needs some time. He's not ready. But do I think there's potential? Yeah, probably could be.
He just sat for a year.
I don't know if he's a starter though. I mean, he could just be a backup.
Why do you think that though? Is it because of his arm strength or because
I
of something you saw?
I haven't seen enough, and because of his history.
What year he didn't pass any eye tests for you? Though is my question.
Because he was throwing some bad picks in New Orleans, man. He cost us the game against the Saints.
He passed the eye test for a lot of people. That's where I'm just bringing up the argument, because there's a lot of people that think that he could be the guy, and I'm not necessarily thinking myself that he could be, but he did pass the eye test for me on certain things that could be, but he didn't pass the arm strength eye test, and that's where he lost it for me. So, but what if, for anyone else that he did pass the eye test on, if his arm strength came out twice as strong next year, could he be even? I mean, at the very least, he's trade bait for a second round pick to another team.
I want to make that one guy mad again and be like, you know what? Tyson Bagent's never going to have a cock like Justin Fields.
I'd almost bet on that.
all I know, Aldo and Shorty and Danny, is if Caleb Williams doesn't pan out, just as a bust like Bryce Young or whoever, what's the other, Jamarcus Russell, whoever flames out, Johnny Manziel goes that route, all the people who are talking Caleb Williams will be the same people that want Poles fired. That's all I know for sure. That will be the same people that will be calling for Ryan Poles' head for drafting him in the first place.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Hey, speaking of JJ McCarthy, he's going to be a guest on Gabriel Talks Football in about a month after his pro day. Next week, we've gotten a confirmation from Eric Agelko, who's the executive director of the East-West Shrine Bowl game. So, J2K, make sure you join us and fire away with many questions. This guy knows all of the prospects. And then tomorrow night on Draft on Tap, we're going to have Ryan Flournoy, who was a really outstanding receiver in Division II football at the Southeast Missouri team captain, caught 7 touchdowns. And so I reached out to him because he grew up in the Chicago area. I've been following his agent for a while because she's, I'll be honest, she's really hot. So I've been following her agent, and she posted something about Ryan, and I said, hey, I want Ryan in our show so we can get to know about his Bears fandom and see how he's doing and did throughout this preparation for the NFL draft. So he's going to be a guest on Draft on Tap. Nice. Mr. Shorty, what do you got going on over at the BCP?
Oh man, it's just a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Been pretty busy with work, so we're just doing our Thursday shows. Obviously now, we'll be on this Thursday at 9 p.m. I think we're actually going to have Nomad on from the Nomad Network.
Wow,
never heard of him.
Never say never, right?
Wow.
Sean Connery taught us that.
Let me ask you: is the restraining order you had on him, is that still in effect?
No, it's over. Yeah.
Okay, good.
So he agreed to come on, but if
come on, all right.
Yeah. So I have to obviously clarify that probably by tomorrow. I usually wait till like Wednesday with my guests. So, but he had agreed to, so that should be a fun show. But last week we had on Lester Wiltfong, and then the week before that we had on Glenn Morgan from NBC Sports Chicago.
Great guy.
All sorts of guests, and Foster hopefully is going to start doing his job again and line up those guests so I can.
Speaking of Foster, I was watching a little college basketball. I was watching the University of Wisconsin Green Bay, and they had this player, Aldo.
Foster Wonders.
Foster Wonders. I gotta admit, I did a double take. Yeah.
What do you think about that, Foster Covers?
Not a bad player.
You are forever now Foster Wonders. Foster.
I've been waiting to bust that one out, Aldo, for so long. I've had that one.
Perfect timing. Hey, Dan Aguirre just texted me and says, "How come the fuck he won't invite me on tomorrow night's show?"
I didn't say that. I didn't say that.
No, he didn't.
Oh, my
but
God.
that would have been hilarious.
Yeah, I get it. I'm only used on Dan's show when he and Nomad break up. When they get back together.
Yep. Nomad. Yeah, see, you got engaged, and Shorty and Nomad got back together.
There you go.
Hey, once you go black, you never go back. So you're fucked, Dan Aguirre.
Man.
Oh my God. Why did I come on this fucking show?
Tony wants to see a weather girl. Oh gosh, speaking of weather girls.
Has Dan seen any movies before he leaves?
I gotta go. I don't have time to talk movies.
Dan, did you see Saturday
now you're running Dan off. Oh, thank you guys. Dan, I love you, man. Let's do a show next Monday.
Dan, did you see Saturday Night Live?
No.
Oh my gosh. What's her name? Where's the
Sydney
picture?
Sweeney?
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
She's got the best tits in the world from Euphoria, but I didn't get to see it.
Oh my goodness. I was going to just check out, the opening. They usually have a political skit at the and then she comes out, does the opening monologue in this push-up dress, and her titties are jiggling all around like there's a fucking earthquake going on in New York. And then skit after skit after skit, she looks sexier and sexier. She finally did this. She was a Hooters girl, and she was getting like $40,000 tips, while everybody else was getting like pennies and stuff.
Her boobage on the second season of Euphoria was just fucking amazing.
Yeah, she's and apparently, based on what I saw on Saturday Night Live, she's a very, very, very good actor as well in comedy. I don't remember her in Euphoria because I only saw half of the first season.
She played Cassie, wasn't it? Cassie Tooch?
Yep, Cassie.
Yeah, in season 2, her tits are very profound. She's naked a lot.
Ooh, really?
You need to watch season 2, Aldo.
Can I just start with season 2?
Yeah, do it.
Get to the good parts.
Yep.
Oh, really good. Hey, Dan, before you go, any last thoughts?
Dan, I can't believe how you've just discarded me. No, man, I miss you. Hopefully we can do some stuff again.
Dude, I miss you too, man. I just been so exhausted.
Shorty only had me on once, and then he never had me on again.
You were on twice. Come on.
Oh, Dan, I don't know
more than all you guys.
I don't know if you heard.
I said the Bears were going 14-3. Wait, that was all.
Oh, God. Oh yeah, I made a short about that one.
I don't know if you heard, Dan. I may get married soon.
I did hear that at the beginning of the
Yeah,
show.
he said congratulations in the chat room.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right.
Came out, and congratulations, my friend. That's awesome.
Thank you. I was telling a friend. I was telling a friend earlier. It's weird when you look down. I'm like, man, she's blowing me now, and she's 25 years ago. I love her, man. I love her.
Dude, I'm so happy for you. Well, honestly, let's do a show again soon. I promise you that.
Let's do that. What were you saying, Aldo? I think I stepped on what you were saying.
No, I forgot what I was going to say. But Sylvia Sidney, I understand, was in The Handmaid's Tale. So she must have been all covered up, right? Who cares? Dan, I did want to ask you something.
All right.
So, are you going to have kids?
No. She's already, she had a hysterectomy.
Okay.
I'm good with that.
Well, Tooch is available if you want to have kids.
I might have an extra kid laying around somewhere, Danny.
You can keep all your kids. I'll keep fucking. I'll keep.
Tooch will knock you up.
Well, gentlemen, I got to go, though. I got to go to work.
All right, Danny.
Danny boy, good talking to you again. Thanks for having me on, man.
It's great to hear and talk to everybody. So,
yeah. You too.
All right, gentlemen.
Stick around, Shorty. Goodbye, Dan.
Yeah, I did see one movie I could recommend, Aldo.
Please,
I have a TV show.
It was on Netflix. It's the new Adam Sandler movie called Spaceman. Have you heard of it?
Yeah, I heard that. That's pretty good.
That's really good, man. I enjoyed it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's kind of 2001-ish if Wes Anderson made it, the movie.
Okay.
It was good, man. I enjoyed it, man. It was really, I mean, it seemed like everything was kind of low tech in the future or whatever when in a spaceship. It was great. It had that kind of like Wes Anderson feel.
What's it called?
It's called Spaceman with Adam Sandler. And he's like a lone spaceman. He goes out to investigate this cloud that appears out, within our solar system, kind of in between the moon and Mars. And just traveling out there to find out what it is and collect some samples and stuff. And he starts to, go into I don't know whether he's going crazy in space, in isolation and stuff. And he starts to see this spider, and it grows into this spider alien that talks to him and stuff, and psychoanalyzes him, and wants to know more about humans and stuff. And Adam Sandler feeds it Nutella. It's great. It's
so he's actually acting, or I mean, it's not a comedic role. It's like a serious role.
Yeah, it's more of it's definitely a thinking movie, like the origin of the universe and life and stuff like that, and relationships and truths. It's more esoteric, but there are some funny moments in it and some profound moments and stuff as well. The ending is kind of a little bit of a tearjerker, but it was, Adam Sandler he's got range.
Yeah.
You can what was that movie where he was the diamond seller?
Yeah.
Uncut Gems. That was excellent.
Uncut Gems with a lot of professional basketball players, right?
Yeah, and the other movie where he was the basketball scout for the 76ers.
What was the one where he looked like
that was good too, man.
It was one of his first serious roles where he looked like Bob Dylan with the hair, and he was
great. Punch Drunk Love.
Yeah, the P.T. Anderson movie. I think that's it.
Yeah, it was a crazy when he was kind of a little like crazy guy in it.
Yeah. I think he was on the spectrum or something.
Yeah. He's a very talented guy, and his comedies have been panned a lot because it can be silly and slapsticky and so forth, and sort of serious critics. But it's weird, the French film critics have always loved American comedies, like the Jerry Lewis is a god in France.
Yeah,
and Adam Sandler is the same way. Really smart people can appreciate. Unfortunately, we don't have really smart people in America that review movies, but can appreciate the stupid slapstick comedies.
They were from Chicago. They both died.
Yeah, Ebert and Siskel, indeed.
Man, I remember when that show was like nothing else on TV at the movies with Siskel and Ebert. Man, they were the first.
Did I tell you guys about when I met Adam Sandler?
No.
So it was on a movie that my wife was working on, and we flew to Maui to go. We stayed there for like 2 months on this movie that she was working on with him, and it was the pre-party, and I was standing over there with my phone, texting someone, and he thought I was taking pictures of him, but I wasn't.
Was he pissed off?
Did he approach you?
He did. He was visibly upset because he had his children with him, and I was like, "No, I'm not taking a picture of you." But then later on, it was a party, so I went back up to him and I talked to him, and I was like, I really apologize for that. He's like, No, that's okay. Like, who are you here with? I'm like, oh, my girlfriend at the time. She's in accounting, and oh, you're okay. So he was a really nice guy because he could have been an asshole about it, but he was really cool about it in the end. So, yeah, I have nothing but love for Adam Sandler.
Opera Man.
Yeah. I mean, I loved him in Saturday Night Live when he would do those skits.
That was arguably the best cast. Dana Carvey, Phil Hartman, Adam Sandler, Chris Farley, Mike Myers, and Rob Schneider. Molly Shannon.
Even what's his name? Oh God, he did the goat boy guy.
That's right.
Chris Kattan.
No. Yeah, Chris Kattan's another one, but
Chris Kattan was Goat Boy.
Yeah, the Goat Boy was a great character on there.
The copier guy, Rob Schneider, the copier guy.
Oh,
that was classic.
What was the catchphrase? Well,
making some copies.
Making copies.
I love that.
Good stuff.
What's his name in the hot tub? Yes, my lover and I went out for breakfast this morning. We had omelets with blah 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 and a side of blah blah blah. Yes, my lover. Oh God, that was hilarious.
I'm not a big fan of this. I still watch the show religiously, but I'm not a big fan of this year's cast. There's a few good members, but some of the newer people.
I gotta be honest, man. I'm asleep at that time now. I can't
stay.
I was religious with that show, but I gave up on it because the cast sucks now.
Yeah, they're not as good. That's for sure. They still have a few good people, but even the good people still do hit and miss skits. Back in that era with Dana Carvey, it was like almost every skit.
Everything was funny. Man.
Yeah,
Kevin Nealon.
I kind of agree
Phil
with
Hartman.
King Booker World that Mad TV was pretty fucking funny.
Yeah,
it may
Mad
have
TV
been
was
even
great.
better.
Yeah. And then it wasn't
Lang.
on that long, man. I was really upset when it went off the air too.
Yeah, I think they had some
Mad
problems.
TV. Yeah, there was what was it? Fridays was funny too. That old right around the same time. Live, they had like a lot of Michael Richards was on there.
Michael Richards was on there. Yes.
I forget who else was on. There was a lot of guys on that one too on Fridays.
Mm-hmm. Do you guys remember the deer scene?
From which movie?
I don't know.
Tommy Boy probably would have crashed through the windshield, right? It crashed through the windshield and Tommy Boy, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Jim Brewer was funny. That's a guy who I am surprised he has not had a bigger career post comedy shows.
Yeah.
He probably gets real high a lot. Jim Brewer.
I've seen him on some podcasts recently. He's wasted.
Jim Brewer.
Oh, really?
That's the goat boy who I was talking about. Jim Brewer.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
He's a national treasure.
Yeah, Jim Brewer's great.
In chat here, Zach Sullivan saying Phil Hartman. Oh God, he was great.
Love Phil Hartman, man.
I love when he did the caveman lawyer.
Voices. Yeah,
I'm just a simple caveman lawyer. I know not of your lawyeristic way.
It's like that cast. They'd be like, you have to have a character like Opera Man or Cop Phil Hartman. I'm an unfrozen caveman lawyer. It's like it's so weird, It's like
when he did Frankenstein.
Yeah.
Did I ask him a question and he would like answer it all like he knew he was talking about with
just the best impressionist too, man. Phil Hartman.
Yeah. Hartman did a great Sinatra. You know who also did a good Sinatra was Joe Piscopo.
Yeah,
he played. You bald headed MFer. He was really good.
Back when Aldo and I were young, the king of impressionists was Rich Little. You remember Rich Little, Aldo?
Oh yeah, of course.
Rich Little.
Just saw him recently on a documentary. God, he looks like
he's still alive.
Dan Aykroyd. Well, I asked the same question. I want to say he was because this was on Sunday or Saturday nights. Jack Taper from CNN does political scandals, and he did Rod Blagojevich, he did Elliot Spitzer, and in one clip they were interviewing Rich Little, and it was high def, so I want to say he's still alive, but he's being perfectly preserved by the people who work at that wax museum place. But you know who else from that era, Tooch, was the guy who played the Riddler in the Batman TV show, Frank Gorshin.
Yep.
Yes, he was a great impressionist. Piscopo and Eddie Murphy doing Sinatra and Stevie Wonder.
Yeah. Classic.
Yes. Yep. Good stuff. Dobbsy says, "Hey Aldo, I'm curious. Go ahead, Dan."
No, I wanted to say what back to the really quick on the Phil Hartman thing when you were saying he did the Sinatra. His Sinatra when he said, "I got chunks of guys like you get in my stool. I got chunks of guys like the size of you in my stool." When he said that on SNL, I haven't stopped laughing since. Well, I just love Phil Hartman just to end that on that. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
We're just working on a draft show, Dobbsy.
Yeah, Dobbsy, we've got, with Gabriel Talks Football, he's going to have Daniel Jeremiah, Dane Brugler, and with Draft on Tap, Danny Shimon, all the great work that he does and great guests and so forth. I said, enough. I wanted to do the Patreon thing, and we made a little bit of money last year, but after my health issues, I said, I don't want to work that fucking hard for $10, so hey, I made a profit, $10. My wife was happy.
Dude, this is listen, I've tried to explain this on the last show. Like, we literally do this for you guys in chat. That is it. There is nothing to be gained from this other than our own satisfaction that we get from hanging out with you guys in chat. Honestly.
500
Aldo,
people, Aldo. Is that a record?
Yeah, not bad. For this show it is, yeah.
I mean, Aldo, you and I have been around the bush, right? I pissed on yours.
By the way, thank you. Thank you.
Welcome.
The steak dinner. Oh my gosh.
It was worth it, huh?
It was worth all those bushes dying.
And you got all that nitrogen and your bushes are growing better now?
Exactly. My wife said, would you come over and take a shit in our backyard?
Yeah, Aldo got his steak on at Gibson's.
Hey, you know,
That was really good. Thank you.
You're welcome, man. I mean, that's that's the least I could do
But
for.
you were saying
you know,
that we do this for the love of.
we do it for the love of this.
Yeah.
It's literally when you come full circle on this and you realize if you're still doing this as long as you're doing it, it's either because you are making a shitload of money, which means you have to have hundreds and thousands of subscribers and millions of views, or you are doing this for fun.
Yeah,
it's just, this is for fun. And if it wasn't for all of you in chat, this would not be fun and nobody would want to do it. And that goes for everyone that does this kind of stuff. So thank you to everyone who is here in chat watching this show. And seriously, thank you for having me on. I'm not like bugging out at this moment. I just want to say thank you because I miss you guys. I miss just shooting the shit with you. And it's been, I've been like, you just, when you were just saying what you were saying about, feeling like shit and didn't want to do, it's like, no shit, I get it. Sometimes you just don't. But then you get on here and you do, and you're
Although,
like,
did you have
damn,
sympathy
glad I
diarrhea
did.
too?
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
I haven't shitting my brains out like damn.
Oh, man, you don't want to hear my shit stories, man. I go through a fucking roll of toilet paper every time I go in there. It's like, when is this shit? It won't come out, so the fucking toilet paper is getting it out.
Oh,
hey, look at those
Wiping
balloons.
forever.
Two things. Psyllium.
How do you get those balloons?
Psyllium husk.
Look, if you go like this, it'll make a heart.
Yeah, or thumbs up.
Yeah, if you go like if you do a thumbs up, it'll do a thumbs up.
Not on
There you
my
go.
fucking.
How come mine isn't doing it? Usually it's me that does it.
I
Yeah.
think 2 thumbs ups is like an explosion or fireworks or something.
What about this?
Nothing. Fucking couple of these. There you go.
I got the hearts to come out.
Well, listen. Psyllium husk and a bidet.
Yep. Oh yeah.
That'll solve your problem right there, Aldo.
Yep. Yeah. The Philippines, all the bathrooms have a sprayer, Aldo.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's like a little hose, man. You just like after you're done taking a shit, shoot that water up there. Boom.
Yes, I
You're
go
not
into
wiping
the
forever
shower
then.
with the hand shower. I bring it down. I fucking put it on the massage thing, and it's massaging up my a-hole.
Yeah.
You douche yourself with it?
Yes, I douche myself with it, and nothing. It won't come out.
Psyllium husk. Listen, psyllium husk works both ways. It
you know,
binds.
Can I
and-
smoke it? Can I smoke it?
Yeah, you can smoke it.
You guys know what a fatberg is?
A girl I used to date.
No, it's like in the sewer system or treatment plants. It's like a big accumulation of dude wipes. Butt wipes. They call it a fatberg. It's like all those flushable wipes. They're just like like a gigantic ball.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
that's why
I
our
can't
plumbing
live
is so
without 'em.
fucked up.
Yeah, I can't live without dude wipes. Yeah,
Yeah,
dude
Howard Stern talked about it like 10 years ago, and so I got them, and it's like, I go nowhere without my dude.
You gotta
wipes.
have the dude wipes, man. I wonder how many people in my work in the bathroom are going in there and pulling out the dude wipes, because I know I'm one of them. So,
Mr. Shorty, what was the commercial that you did for like men's
drippy dicks?
Droopy dicks.
Drippy dicks.
$1 million idea, man.
People don't get it. If anyone wants to see it, it's on Bears Country Productions. It's called Drippy Dicks. It's a commercial I made. It's funny. That's what it is. It's not. But it's like it could. First off, the guy's name, the inventor of it, his name is Dick, and that's why it's called Drippy Dicks. People just need to like really watch it and figure everything out that's in there, because there's I'm dressed like Ron Burgundy, yet I'm actually Dick Richards, which is a character that Ron Burgundy played when he was pretending to be the doctor of what's her name in The Office, and he was like, Dr. Chim, this is Dr. Chim Richards. And remember when he kept calling her? And she was like, yeah, okay. He's like, yeah, well, you have this and this and that. So I took that and I said, oh, Dr. Dick Richards, the brother of Chim Richards. You may know me as the brother from Chim Richards from the Anchorman. And everyone just thinks I'm doing the Anchorman, but it's not. It's a
That's what
character
I
from
thought at
Anchorman
first.
plays. Yes. Go rewatch
Okay.
it. Give it some more views.
Well, here it is.
Oh, you have it? Excellent.
I'm Dr. Dick Richards, human brother children in the iconic film Anchorman. But I'm not here to talk about that. I'm here to talk about my revolutionary new product, Drippy Dicks. Have you ever thought you were done going pee-pee?
Over here.
Damn it. You told me the camera was to my right. Have you ever thought you were done going pee-pee? Only moments later to find a...
Where did you get that suit?
In your underwear? Perhaps
Atlanta.
even saturated through to your outerwear? Have you ever felt ashamed? Well, feel ashamed no more. Even the iconic legendary musician Elvis Presley has had his own share of drippy dick. Look at all that pee-pee on Elvis's tidy whities. For all the males in the day, then, there, go, thou art out there. Anyone with a dick. I've invented a revolutionary patented design called Drippy Dicks.
I can't believe you have this.
Your outerwear from becoming saturated, but also your innerwear. Here's how it works. Our state-of-the-art patented design can absorb up to 2.5 cups of pee-pee. We remove the plastic from the adhesive side.
I'm
Place
learning a lot
the
tonight.
adhesive side down in your banana hammock.
Banana hammock.
Pee-pee. We're trying to prevent a drippy pee-pee. Just watch Drippy Dicks go to work.
Yeah, man.
The banana hammock is still dry. Just look at that absorption. That's the patented design of Drippy Dicks.
Oh, God.
Made by a dick for a dick. Drippy Dicks. Get your free box today when you subscribe to Bears Country Podcast and the Barroom
Network.
Yeah, baby.
Who needs Manscaped, right?
That's right. Where'd he go?
Recordings
Oh.
just got better.
There he
Hey,
is.
it's Dana from Streamyard.
Great performance. And your wife was on the camera, right? In graphics?
Yes, she was the camera woman, yes.
J2K says you need a new version dedicated to Dan Aguirre water shits. That's what Aguirre had last week, the water shits.
No, I had a different idea for a butt, like a butt cork.
Yeah. Oh. Butt plug kind of thing?
But it's a cork. It's like it would be a wine cork, or like even more like a champagne cork. How they're like tapered, you know?
Yeah. We should definitely get that and send it to Mr. and Mrs. Aguirre. I can't believe I said that.
Ooh, can't do
I
that.
was just kidding.
Foster says you're wearing the banana hammock at the end.
Yeah.
You see, I said it's not only made by a dick, it's made by a dick for a dick because his name is Dick.
Right.
And then I go like this, and you see the banana hammock. I'm wearing it at the very end, or he was, I should say. I got this. It's answer your question. I got the suit. I got
PJ,
the suit.
you missed the whole show. Where you been, my man?
Yeah, where you been, PJ?
Jesus Christ.
I got the suit in Jonesboro, Georgia, at like a big, like men's suit shop. Because everyone goes in church down there. They're all wearing wonderful, beautiful colors and stuff. So they love going to those kind of suit shops. And so by them I mean the Southerners. Everyone in the South, they love their church attire. I don't go to church, so but they had purple and green and orange and yellow and every different kind of suit in that place. So I found that one to be Ron Burgundy for Halloween. So I was like, I have to use this for that commercial.
It was really well done, hilarious. You can find that at Bears Country Productions. If you hit the videos tab and just scroll down, it is there, and share it with others. All right, guys, let's close this show. Let's go around the table. Shorty, tell us what you're working on. Tell us about tomorrow's show. Anything else?
Oh, well, it's Thursday's show. So it'll be Thursday.
Oh, that's right. For some reason, I keep thinking today is Wednesday. So it's
me too.
Thursday
I don't know.
night.
It feels like Wednesday to me too. No, Thursday night at 9 p.m. We got PJ and Foster and Walt, and our guest on Thursday is gonna be Nomad from the Nomad Network, and we're just gonna be shooting the shit about the Bears, and hopefully trying to avoid as much quarterback talk as we can, because it's just been beaten.
Stressful, right?
Yeah, it's like Dan said earlier, it's like it's kind of stressful. So but kind of go around the horn and talk a little bit about the combine that we saw this weekend. And there's some players that I think that we all can agree on that we have opened our eyes. Like one of the guys I like as a wide receiver is Adonai Mitchell from Texas.
Yes,
4.35, looks like he can catch everything coming his way. Just exciting players like that. Offensive linemen, I think we'll get into a little bit of that. So I appreciate you guys having me on tonight. Just for me to, for anyone that doesn't know, I started a new job. It's very difficult. I'm kind of stressed about it and could give a crap about doing my podcast right now. But like I said, you guys in chat and you guys for having me on, just to kind of come on and not have to worry about getting pulled off my own show for making a what if about somebody. Has been fun. So thank you for having me on tonight, guys. You guys are awesome. I missed you guys. And Dan will be back on the last call at Halisol with us again soon, with myself.
Which is usually on Monday nights, and so we'll be looking for that on Monday nights. Tooch, what do you got going on? Plug away.
I got weekend sports betting tips, man. Talking college basketball, and the tournament's about to get rolling here, conference tournaments, and then the big dance. So Sean and Anthony now will be breaking it down. We also, talk some Caleb Williams, Justin Fields on there. Sean was getting into it with the chat room a little bit one time.
Yeah, really? I love it.
Yeah, he says Bears are stupid if they trade Justin Fields, whatever. But yeah. And then, like I said, I'm working on a draft show with Aaron Current, Jordan Silvera, and Bearlissimo. Hopefully, if Bearlissimo
love it,
get on time here, man, it's going to be great. There might have to be two because there's just so much to cover. We're talking Bears needs, free agency, sleepers, drafts, all sorts of stuff. So hopefully that's coming up down the pipe here. We got time. I got I have a ton of notes and research for it. That'll be nice and fun. I think Barflies will just love it, man. They'll be able to ask a lot of questions. Who's their guy, all sorts of stuff. And then just working on their state of affairs every week, throwing that thing together. It's so hard.
It's a beautiful job, brother. It's a beautiful job. We'll isolate it and post it on our YouTube channel. That may have been your best. There's no doubt about it. Tomorrow on the Bar Room, we've got our hockey program at 2 p.m. and the guys talk plenty of football. So I'm interested to see what they want to share with us on their thoughts on the combine and the Justin Fields trade value. That's the biggest topic right now. And then tomorrow night, Danny Shimon and I will talk about the best pass rushers, Danny's top 10 pass rushers, but also we're going to interview this wide receiver out of Southeast Missouri, Ryan Flournoy, who has been impressing people. He's rising up the stocks. He's definitely a day 3 pick, and if he's not, then I hope the Bears have him on speed dial. You know how Ryan Post loves these Chicago area guys? Well, this kid is from Naperville, and he lives in Chicago. So
what's
one of the
his
reasons.
name again?
Ryan Flournoy. Flournoy. So
he's from Naperville, huh?
He's from Naperville, and he'll be our
hometown.
guest tomorrow night. Yeah. So make sure you join us in the chat, Tooch, and ask away your questions.
Yeah.
He'll be at the top of the show at 8 o'clock.
That name sounds so familiar, Ryan Flournoy. How old would you say he is?
I want to say he's 22 years old. I got to do a lot of homework on him, but I know that he was quite a Division II player and could be a good NFL pro.
Kirk Cousins was from Barrington, Illinois.
Oh, that's right. He was. What do you guys think before we go? What do you guys think about the idea of signing a guy like Russell Wilson, Russ Wilson, or Kirk Cousins as a 1-year stopgap until we get this quarterback situation figured out?
And you definitely are getting rid of Justin Fields.
Yeah, he'd have to go.
100%.
There's no way.
Yep. And then you're drafting somebody. Drafting a quarterback behind Kirk. But Kirk's not going to sign a 1-year deal, though, You
don't think so?
No. Please, no.
Yeah,
I'm not a rent a QB guy. It's draft a QB and develop him or don't.
Thank you.
Listen, if it's Justin Fields or Caleb Williams,
going for the Bears,
that's going to be the end of our lives.
Mm-hmm.
How's that been going, though, with the past two guys? The Bears state of affairs, I laid it out there. They didn't put anything behind either guy.
That's the key.
Crap. They put crap around Trubisky.
Oh, that's another half an hour conversation. I did want to just quickly say that it once you have put your quarterback through the ringer, I almost think that it almost warrants you. I think that's probably the reason why everyone in Chicagoland thinks media-wise that they're going quarterback and trading Fields is because Justin is now going in how many offenses, however many years. If you're going to start over, you might as well. I don't want to get back into it, but I think that's the gist of that whole thing is that could be the reason if they do go Caleb, it's because, well, we're starting over again. Why not start over with a quarterback for the first time instead of the quarterback for the fourth time, third time in an offense in the NFL? So who knows, man? It's either way, I'm fine with it though.
Yeah.
Literally.
But I'm with you. A young quarterback is the way to go. To bring in an old pro, Kirk Cousins, who's coming off an Achilles injury. I don't give a shit what kind of video he's posting of him throwing on a tennis court or whatever the fuck that was. No, I don't want guys who have been in the league for 10, 15 years at running back, quarterback, any of those positions. I'll take a offensive lineman as a 1-year rental like we did with that left tackle that 1 year. Who was a guy that we brought in? He was fishing, called him up, and he played left. Jason Peters. Yeah, that to me is okay. But at the quarterback, I'd rather develop a player. Let's see. Our celebrities, again, want to weigh in on who they want, Caleb or Justin.
I got one message for Justin Fields. Hasta la vista, baby. Wow. Wait, I got one more. Consider this a divorce.
Keep Justin Fields' name out of your motherfucking mouth. I will slap the shit out of you. And if you doubt me, ask Chris Rock.
I like Justin. Consider this. He has been through as many offensive coordinators as I have boyfriends. That's hard. It's not easy to shake it off.
I'm not sure about quarterbacks and evaluating them, but whoever picks them for Green Bay does it well. Just for the record, Green Bay sucks.
You crazy, bro. I have done over 100 porno movies, so I know a few things about sucking. Justin Fields sucks. I mean, he really, really sucks. He sucks even more than Jay Cutler ever sucked. Move on, Justin. Move the fuck on.
I don't know about this USC kid. I mean, who cries on his mother's shoulder for 20 minutes on national TV after losing a football game? Again, what the fuck do I know? You should ask Romo or Greg Olson. Just don't ask Fauci.
So
I bought that app for like $9 for the year. And after I got past the first 10, 15 people, none of the lips move on some of the other celebrities. I'm like, you fucking ripped me off.
Did you get any MP3s from Retro yet?
No. Is he sending out MP3s? I don't know who the fuck Retro is anymore. He changed his name more than
We'll talk later.
Rappers.
We'll talk later.
Man,
I love the guy, but he sends me messages. I'm like, who the fuck are you? Oh, this is Retro.
Man, I think Retro's got somebody tied up in Aaron Mikulski's closet here. Yes, man. Oh, there's a thumb. Did you see the thumb?
I have two things before I go on. I want to say, J2K, I do agree that's why they brought in Waldron is to fix Fields. I really truly that's why I bet my buddy who I've never won a bet against in the last 15 years that I think that they're keeping Fields. And it's just a lunch bet. But I always lose to him. So let's just see if I lose to him again, it'll prove that I just can't beat this guy in a bet, because I really 100% do believe they are. Whether or not I want that or not is two entirely different things, is what I truly believe. The second thing I wanted to say is on the era of shows and movies, I wanted to leave you guys with this. Have you guys watched Masters of the Air yet on Apple? If not,
I heard it's really good.
I
started and I couldn't get into it.
It's over, and the first season is over, and I'm
You
sad.
liked it? Yeah.
Yeah.
I started
This is
watching
by the-
Shogun. That's excellent on Hulu.
Oh, I've heard good things about
Yes,
that.
I've heard that
FX,
too. Yeah.
Hulu, Shogun. It's like remember the Richard Chamberlain one?
I heard you
Back in
talking about
in
that
the
last
70s,
week
Aldo.
or 2 weeks ago. Yeah.
Yeah,
The new
James
one is-
Mitchell, based on a James
James
Michener novel.
Michener's novel. Yeah, the new one's like killer, man. It's a lot more rough.
Yeah.
But Shorty, the one that just came out, I've heard a lot of really good things about it, and that's by the guys who have done Band of Brothers. I want to say production team.
Masters of the Air.
Yeah, Masters of the Air.
I think it's actually. I think it's
It has
produced
that
by
kid who played
Spielberg.
Elvis.
I think it's produced by Spielberg and the kid that plays
That's the-
Elvis.
Austin
That's the
Butler.
Band of Brothers. Right.
Oh, you
Yeah,
know what,
okay.
Aldo? I saw Dune 2 over the weekend.
Oh, their new one already. Huh?
Whoa.
Fucking killer, bro.
Wow, the Dune one was so good.
Great,
I
man.
I wanted to watch it again the next day. It was
that
so good.
reminds me that the Elvis kid plays the bad guy in Dune 2.
Oh no shit!
Yeah.
Yeah, he does.
Crazy.
That's right.
Yeah.
Did you guys watch him in the Elvis thing?
Yeah,
I love
he was
that.
really
Baz
good.
Luhrmann, that was awesome, man.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
great
went
movie.
into it like not because I'm an Elvis fan.
Yeah.
Grew up an Elvis fan, but I went into it very hesitant, and I came out of it liking it more than I thought I would.
Yeah.
The Elvis movie.
Yeah.
It's probably why I started watching the Masters of the Air, and he was pretty good in that too.
Have you ever done the Elvis Museum in Memphis?
No, but I have been to Graceland.
Yeah, well, that's the same Graceland
Oh, yeah.
Museum.
Yeah.
And then there's the his boyhood home. That's a museum in Tupelo, Mississippi.
Tupelo, Mississippi. Yeah.
Yeah, it's about 100 miles from Memphis.
Oh, I didn't know they were
Tiny-
that close.
Yeah, just across the border.
I didn't know they were that close either.
PJ's got the water shits.
Oh, really? Damn. See, Anthony says that the norovirus is going around. That's what he was told. Everybody's got the
Great.
shits.
Is it the shits or is it the
Is it
did you have to
Decision
pee?
Gate? Sympathy diarrhea from Decision Gate.
Was he saying it was the shits? Because I was reading it earlier and I thought it was pee.
Aldo and I had sympathy acne last week. Right?
Yeah, that's right.
All those in his 60s, I'm in my 50s. We're getting zits like high schoolers.
Dude, I got tell me about it. Look, I got like 3 in a row this past week. Look,
Wow.
just
Come
go
on, pop,
away.
pop them now. Squeeze that nose. Let's see what we get out of there.
I already did squeeze them. They got even worse. They started with 1, and then I squeezed it, and then there was 2 more after that, side by side. I was like, "What the?" It's probably as many zits as I've gotten in the last 30 years in one day.
Well, my problem is that I'm on blood thinners because of, the issue that I had, and so if I pop a zit and some blood comes out, it's like fucking for 3 hours. There's blood coming out.
You have to stick the cotton on it. And
Yeah, exactly. I actually put a Band-Aid on before last Tuesday's show.
You need
Had a
like
Band-Aid,
fucking
took it
surgical
off.
tape. Get the surgical tape. Zip that
Right.
motherfucker.
My wife is saying, "You got a scab. You got a scab. I'll put a little makeup on it. You'll be fine."
My wife was like, "What is going on with you right now? Like, you've never had zits." I'm like, "I know what."
It's like women are super excited to get men into makeup, Aldo. It's like, hey, this is part of my world. This is why I do it, man.
She was trying to do that. Let me just put some of that. I'm like, get out of here.
My wife was like, "You need to stop masturbating. That's what you need to do."
But we can't.
Okay.
I was just gonna say, you can still masturbate.
It's not possible.
You're like masturbating a wet noodle.
Seinfeld is like, we're men. We have to do it.
I gotta take Vicodin to masturbate. What are you guys talking about?
DJ's got it bad. He drinks water and
Not
it goes
Vicodin. The blue pill. I gotta take
Viagra.
Viagra to masturbate. Yeah.
Do you know that comedian Ismo? Aldo Ismo, ISMO.
Ismo, I don't
He's
know.
from Finland. He's really funny. He said, the only purpose of coffee is to make you shit. You know, it was one of his routine. He's really funny. He's very dry. He come to America. He's like, I'm learning English here. You know, he's like, has this in Finland. He compares it stuff, all the stupid things that we say in English here in America. It's like he makes fun of, man. He's really funny.
I'm just dying laughing at PJ over here. Did you see that? There's no chance of me risking a fart.
Yeah, I know that feeling, PJ. I know that feeling.
I'm sorry, buddy. That's awful.
Yeah.
That's awful. And you can't even cough or sneeze. You're gonna crap yourself. I'm sorry, buddy. He's probably on the toilet right now with a spoon in his hand.
All right, guys, it is time to pull the plug. I really, really enjoyed hanging out with you, Shorty. You are welcome here anytime. You know, the Tooch does these Bear State of Affairs. You should do like Shorty's Tall Tales and come up here and just talk about lies. You know, yeah, the Bears are definitely trading for Jaden Daniels. You watch, you know, it's Shorty's Tall Tales.
The Bears are going to trade the number 1 pick to the number 2, the number 3. Then they're going to go 3 to 8. And they're going to draft McCarthy and Neighbors.
Kevin Warren is having an affair with Virginia McCaskey. Shorty's Tall Tales.
Hey, at least I wouldn't get pulled from my own damn show from doing it, right, Foster?
Yeah, the Bears only have 5 picks, man. He 100% he's trading down. You get the most picks with that number 1 overall pick. I mean, the Bears have so many holes. This is a deep draft, like Aldo said. I mean, he's trading
brick by brick only happens one way, guys.
If he picks up Caleb Williams, I'll be fine with it. I think the kid could be something special. I don't know though. I mean, he could also be the next Johnny Manziel. You know, I don't know. You know, people are saying the same thing about Johnny Manziel.
All right, Coach, we got it. Don't be PJ and keep this up for another 25-part conversation. Aldo wants to go to bed.
Yeah, but with 5 picks, he's got to trade down.
Tooch, come on the show with us. We'll have you on next week, and you can sit with PJ and Foster and Walt while I'm doing that.
I get a free pack of the PP pads.
Okay, I'll send you a free box of Drippy Dicks.
Drippy Dicks. I need a free pack.
I want that leopard skin banana bag.
Yeah. I bet you do. That's mine, buddy. I love you guys, man. Thank you so much for having me on. Really made my Tuesday night.
And thank you, everyone in the chat, for sticking with us for 3 hours plus. We'll see you all very soon. Take care now.